Alright, everybody, let's go for the trial. I'm just gonna say the truth bullets first, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the trial. Probably just gonna skip this part because it's boring. I'm not really gonna talk, I'm just gonna read through the truth bullets. So, yeah, see you when I see you. And we're done. Alright, I think I can do this. Let's start the class trial. Let's go. Classroom trial. In session. First of all, let's start with a brief explanation of the class trial. The outcome of the class trial is decided by your votes. If you point out the blackhead, only they will get punished, but in case you point out the wrong person, I'll punish everyone except the blackhead. The one who tricked everyone else will graduate from this academy. Also, this translation is brought to you by Zeffy, so you better damn well appreciate it or I'll punish you fools. You heard the man. Make sure to check my YouTube channel for any future updates on other translations. You heard them, fellas. Get 'em! Go to their channel. Finally, the second class trial has begun. There's no such thing as being used to this atrocious game. I'm actually more anxious than last time. But if I'm afraid here, it can't be helped. As we did last time, let's think carefully with everyone. Now then, first... Wait a minute, there's something I want to ask first. Oh my, what's the holdup? What are you going to ask? Last time it was my first time, so I didn't question it. But now that I think about it, I believe I have to ask this now. The body discovery announcement. What exactly are the conditions for the broadcast to show up? Mikharu, why are you suddenly asking this kind of stuff? If you find a dead body, then it shows the BDA. You just shut up. Boop, I see. After all, it is Mikharu, the one who paid attention to that, huh? Even so, it is basically as Kobishikawa-kun says, when you find a body, I broadcast it. Only when 3 people, at least 3 people have found a body, then the announcement will show up for everyone. Was it always like that? Is that a rule made on the spot, or was it applied from last time? Of course it was applied from the beginning. In Maki's case, Tara found it first, then Med, and finally Hatano. Since the order was complete, it satisfies the condition of 3 people. The announcement came out because that rule was successfully completed. Right, it's true the announcement rang the moment Hatano discovered it last. This thing, to say an important detail at a time like this. Was that? Did I not tell you about this? It's too late. Oh crap, well you know, when people live, they forget. It's like that, right? But you're not a people, you're Monokuma. Oh, I'm not human, but a bear, so it's okay. I knew he was gonna say that. Okay, when more than 3 people find the body. Well, that found criteria is not dwell on time, is it? For example, a week passes after the initial discovery, then the second one appears, and even if the third discoverer appears another week later, the broadcast will also ring? Yeah, time doesn't matter at all. When the first 3 people have seen a corpse in any way, the announcement will sound the moment the third person discovers the body. Mikharu, I know it's fine to check the rules, but is the condition of the body discovery announcement important enough to ask? Wouldn't our main purpose now be to find the culprit? Keep quiet, I'm not over yet. Now then, Monokuma, this is the most important question. That would be a witness to the crime includes the culprit? Oh. Huh? I've asked a question, you won't answer? You asked, do the witnesses include the culprit? Well, that's a very super great whole delicate matter. I see, even with a sharp sense, it becomes a problem. Okay, I'll tell you this particular scenario. Depending on the characteristics of the case, whether or not the culprit is included in the discovery will be decided at the end of the trial. What? Then it's different this time? Then no one knows. It's up to our own judgment. That would also induce everyone to be against each other. I already told you this. When it comes to trials, I'm fairer than a Buddha, God and Jesus combined. You said Jesus twice in a different meaning. Let's recap. In the last case, you said that the announcement rang because Akane, Taira, Yuki Maeda, and Ayami Hatano discovered the body. Then in the last case, Mitsuru Higa, the culprit, must have been excluded from the equation of 3 people discovering the body. Meh, I excluded Higa-kun. In fact, it didn't matter much if I included him, since the first 3 people to discover it were together that time. Then, what about this case? The culprit who killed Tomori Kizuna. Did you include that person as a discoverer? Yeah, that's right. Specification aside. Why the sudden dialect? Did you inhale a Tori? Lol. Well, my dialect is not that awkward. I mean, I have the mainland pronunciation. You don't seem to be enough from the mainland to mix different parts of the country. No comment. No comment on that. Well, if you ask for my opinion on a particular case, I would be the one in trial instead. If a judge enters the discussion, it's unfair, right? That would be a violation, poo-poo-poo. You're also evading the answer. Fine, just looking at your reaction makes me think I touch a sensible subject. Nope, I don't know what you're talking about. What the hell is Megara talking about? Somebody let me know. Well, that does it for the mischief at this point, and let's go over the trial soon. Did you know that 12 o'clock has passed already? Originally, I was going to start right away, but Miss Bacaro sounded weird and it's too late now. Anyways, let's go first. Start with the arrangement of the case. Please begin the discussion. Why did Mikara ask such a question? I have no clue what she's thinking. I'm curious, but now I have to focus on the trial without thinking about anything else. Time to arrange the scene. Let's gather everyone. I hate to follow Monokuma's words, but we need to begin with the case. Yeah, that was what I was thinking in the first place. That is the topic at hand because the people on the dormitory side at the time of the situation wouldn't know the details of this incident. Oh right, what happened to them? After listening to the body discovery announcement, I was in a hurry to find you guys, and then Tomori, she was dead in the power room, all over with the burnt marks in the room. Okay, for those who know, reorganize the scene with the rest. Those who do not know the order of events. From now on, take some time to confirm your positions with everyone. Kinjo-kun, don't you have something to tell us before that? What? You said you wouldn't make anyone a victim if we followed you. For that purpose, we agreed, and you got rid of a group of 3 people. And everything ended up like this, so why? Are you proud of it? Good job then. Okay, I would have to make amends to risk my own life and apologize for that, because I didn't keep my promises, but if you can't surpass this moment, everyone will die. It's a pity for what happened with Tomori, but I also have a duty to keep you all from being executed in this class trial. If you don't like it, I'll be out of this trial. Yeah, I'm an incompetent cop who can't make promises anyway. That's enough, everyone is on edge. Think about other things later and focus on the trial for now. Aw, she's crying. Poor little hamster surgeon. She reminds me of my hamster, and she's dead. That's so sad. Yes, Akane, you know your heart, but let's finish this first. Yeah, and Kijo-kun, I didn't mean to. Sorry. It's fine, then let's begin sorting out the case step by step. Well, you know I won't say anymore, but I don't help you, understand? I don't need you because there is Kinjo with us. Me? Oh no, Mikara, you can stay. Don't let me do everything. We have to do it together. I said to myself, even for a dead guy, you must understand the truth of the case yourself. Boo, alright. Then let's begin. I didn't manage to get to the power room at the beginning of the whole incident to see it directly. Let's discuss what we heard and saw. For the first part, around 9 PM, Hatano discovered a fire in the power room, was it? Yeah, I was walking down the corridor on the 2nd floor before nighttime, but when I entered the power room, there was a black smoke coming out because it seemed to smell like something burning. You mean that's what happened? I was at the antique shop, but I had no idea. I heard Hatano's cry and rushed to the 2nd floor. Uehara and Mikara were together as we bumped into each other on the way. We went first to the power room, the epicenter of the fire. It was hot and smoky. The fire was about to spread from the switch room to outside. Yes, it's exactly what Kinjo told me. I already know this part from Kinjo. What did Uehara do soon after was use the fire extinguisher to put out fire. No, I think he used sand. Drew water? I mean, where could he find the water? Why does I have my 3 hearts only? It should be 4. So you brought a fire extinguisher in the hallway on the 2nd floor to extinguish the fire, right? Yeah, that's correct. By the way, how does Meda know that? The ones in the area were Kinjo, Uehara, Mikara, and me. Oh, I asked Kinjo about it while investigating. Right, I told him. Maeda knows the unfolding process of the case. Is that so? Then let's continue. The 4 of us were putting out the fire. I heard something breaking inside the switch room. At that moment, Kinjo looked at Uehara and asked to see if someone was going out of the power room door, and the other 3, including me, went to the switch room inside. And there... Tomori was dead. Yeah, at that point the BDA came out. Taira and Kurokawa arrived at the power room soon after. Okay, from here on our dorm team has joined, so let me speak. When we arrived, the fire had already been extinguished. After that, like last time, Monokuma handed out the file and put us on time to investigate. Right, from here on out are the things that I have seen with my own eyes. Right after I examined the switch room and returning, that happened. That being, after the body discovery announcement, Aya Hatano's injury by a wire. Shortly thereafter, Hatano had an accident in which her leg was injured by a wire trap. That's what happened? Yamaguchi said it before in front of the elevator. Didn't you hear, dummy? Ayami-chan, is it really okay? It still seems to be a little fuzzy. Oh, no problem. It hurts a little right now, but it's not a major injury, so we can treat it properly after this trial. Isn't that right, Inori? Yeah, well, you don't have to worry. Please continue with the trial. She's never gonna run again. Ah, that leg wound. Is this an injury more serious than expected? What are you talking about? Didn't you say it was okay? Even pretense is useless. Do you think I can't read other people's minds? You, that incompetent, and the doctor, the atmosphere of you 3, it makes things clear that something happened. Shall we guess? Let's see, how about the leg injury that's so serious you won't be able to use it ever again? What? What are you talking about? Ayami-chan said she was okay. That is a lie, right? Mikaro is just talking nonsense, yeah? Hey. Sorry, I thought you might be worried more, so I decided to keep this with Hatano. I lied, I'm sorry. Inori, no. Is it a lie? What do you mean? In reality, Hatano's injury, the moving muscle tissue, the most important posterior tendon was amputated. Without luck, it's a serious injury that you might really have to wear crutches forever. What? Why was she lying to say that it's okay for that serious injury? This is the most important trial of all of our lives. Every detail matters. Sorry. Because of that, Hatano and I thought it was to avoid getting you guys confused, but I'm so sorry that Hatano tried to pretend to be okay, so sorry. Ayami-chan, it's a lie, right? Nope. It ain't. Tell us something. Well, there was a time when... Sorry, I was lying. What? Then it's really... Yep. Because the nurse's office is now locked, and since there are no facilities for treatment to treat the wound, it is literally homostasis? Hemo? Or is it... No. It is literally hemostasis. That's how I pronounce it, right? I think I pronounced it wrong. It's really hard to stand still. Isn't that too much for her? Hatano, shouldn't you get treated quickly, get healed, and come to the trial later? Hey, what are you talking about? What's more important than the trial? That is, but Ayame-chan, she can't even run again. No, I'm sorry, but I agree with Mikharu. Whether your leg is crippled, cut off, or unable to walk, if you don't win the trial, you will die. Then it's more serious than what you mentioned before the trial. I lied that I was okay with this. As a result, I caused even greater confusion. Sorry, everyone. Ayame-chan doesn't have to be sorry. Can't she be let go, at least to get her a proper treatment? Nope, it's absolutely forbidden to leave the court during the trial. If you're worried about Miss Atana's leg, you'll have to finish your trial first. You say that, but I'm also in agreement. I don't really care, but I want you to focus on finding the culprit. If the focus is on me, I'll die just standing. But Ayame-chan... She says that, but let me comply with the will. And don't you think it would be wise to finish the trial earlier in time and get treatment? Uehara is right. Hatano, it still may be painful, but please hold on a little. Let's focus on the trial for now, everyone. Okay. Thank you for your consideration, Akane. Then let's get back to the main topic again. This has happened twice now. God. Yeah. Where did we end again? We were talking about Hatano's injury by the wire. Yeah, shortly thereafter, Inori took Hatano to provide first aid. We went out of the power room and we continued the investigation. That's the end of it, right? Quiz, but I think it's a useless question. Sorry in advance. The health room was locked, but how did you do Hatano's treatment and where? Right, I needed something tough and thick to use as a bandage, but there were some things like rags in the warehouse. However, since it is really a substitute and only first aid, there's a possibility of additional sepsis and bacterial infection. She will need antibiotics just in case. But in order to do that, we have to find out the killer and end this trial, right? Yeah, but because someone died... Well, is there really another culprit among us? A killer stabbed Tomori? Now why are you doubting it for? That's for sure. But if you point the killer gets executed. It seems like you're sacrificing one person to save Hatano. Yeah, that's the whole point of the trial, dude. So, would you save the killer? To save a killer, 11 of us have to die? I agree. Let me say this, okay? A guy who knows a person is cheap even if they die. How long will you waste your time on such useless topics? Yeah. I didn't mean it that. I'm apologizing. Also, how come Mikharu and Kidjo team up? They seem to be getting better and better. I understand Otori's feelings, but is it okay? I feel the same because it feels like, in the end, whether or not we point out the killer in this trial, someone will be killed. I wish there were no victims, but that Bear Monokuma thing won't let us go, damn it. What purpose does he want to achieve? Entertainment. So the case was cleared up. Who's the killer? We have to figure that out from now on. Honestly, this case has a lot of twists. If you think of it as an ordinary murder case, it's not going to fit in at all. First, let's solve the mystery of each event one by one. The priority should be the victim's body. The body? Tomori's corpse was an important clue to be able to tell the whole story of this incident. There aren't just one or two secrets related to her body, to the corpse. Personally, I didn't notice there was anything special. The corpse, based on my investigation, let's present the evidence gathered. Non-stop debate, I forgot the controls, let me do this again. Yeah. What is the action bullet again? Pick the wrong one, you know, don't have fun. Alright, okay. Wait, how do I change the bullets? Fuck. It didn't say anything. Or, oh god, it's just making me dizzy. I think I remember it was shift or something. What clues does Tomori's body have? I don't know. I don't remember well. The knife was on her neck. Okay. Also, the whole body was with blood all over. It was terrible. Sasuke was vomiting for a while. What a useless. She was dead. Is this relevant? Other than that, can you think of something more essential? Oh crap. It was written in the Monokuma file about what Tamari died of, and he gave me a clue that supports that evidence. You fucking kidding me? What is that word? What does Tamari's body have? I don't remember. The knife? Yeah. God damn it. This is what I get for reading all through the fucking statements of everyone. Oh god. Chara, wait a second. The weapon that stabbed Tamari was not a simple knife. It was a kitchen knife. Huh? Kitchen knife? Right, it's even clearly stated in the Monokuma file. The definitive cause of death is a cut through the esophagus caused by a knife. Right, sorry, I can't remember well. But the kitchen knives are only in the kitchen. Is there any evidence the culprit brought it? There is. Because Kurokawa saw that a knife disappeared from the kitchen right after the incident. Right, Kurokawa? Yeah. Too slow response. So the killer brought the kitchen knife out of the kitchen. Yeah. I guess it disappeared from the kitchen. But that's a little weird. If the killer used a kitchen knife, there's a contradiction. What are you talking about? Oh wait, I think I know, but why is Chara talking like that? Obviously, at the time of the crime, Chara could have known that it was contradictory that the killer took the kitchen knife from there. The reason is... Let's see, what was that? I remember reading something. Where is it? It's a testimony. Is it here? I asked Sarah why she wasn't in the stored dormitory during the nighttime. She said just before nighttime she was cooking in the kitchen, smeared some of her... Oh, okay. Right. Tyra, the contradiction is because you were in the kitchen at nighttime, right? Yeah, right. That's it, Mannequin. What? But what does that mean? Mikara, didn't you say you weren't gonna meddle? I said I wouldn't help, but I didn't say I would not raise a question, asshole. Yikes. Tyra told me she was cooking in the kitchen near the end of nighttime. Cooking? Yeah, I'm sure because I remember that I accidentally splashed oil on my clothes and wiped them in the bathroom. Ooh, that happened. Wait, if Tyra was still in the kitchen at that point, how did the culprit take the knife from the kitchen without bumping into her? Also, that's not all that's weird. Tyra said it was around nighttime, but Tamari's death was at 9:30, written in the Monokuma file. Tyra, I'm asking just in case. You're the last person in that area. Did you put all the knives in place before you left the kitchen? Yeah, I used it when I was cooking myself, so I remember it for sure. Wait, what? When the knife was used in the crime, Tyra, if you checked all the knives in the kitchen, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, how did the killer brought the knife? Unless Akane was the one who brought the knife, that's why it's called a contradiction. If you think about it, do you think it's not a kitchen knife then? God damn it, Tori, you stupid statements. No, there are only kitchen knives in the kitchen. The second floor was open and I've been searching all places ever since. But when everyone started investigating, didn't Kurokawa say she saw the kitchen knife disappear? The knife used as a weapon. Kitchen, that's correct. Which one is it? Kinjo, don't you know? Sure, it's a contradiction. You don't even have to think about the ridiculous story of using another knife out of nowhere. Kinjo worked hard? Now we're all finished. But there's only one way to solve this problem. Really? How? Very simple, in fact. Tyra, you are lying right now. Now wait, why is it this way? Isn't it obvious? The Monokuma file doesn't lie. Then the time of death is sure to be 9:30. Also, the kitchen knife is only in the kitchen. Therefore, the order of events, the kitchen knife being taken from the kitchen killed Kizuna Tomori, is established. These two facts can be proven with certainty. But what does Tarakana mean? What proves that a woman was cooking in the kitchen? Oh crap, it's raining. I hope it doesn't rain hard, because it ruins the recording whenever it rains. Now wait a minute, what are you trying to say? Tara, I'm in doubt. Were you together with someone, yes or no? I was alone. I can't believe someone without witnesses. Anyone can use it as if it's just a talkative alibi. No, wait a minute, why is the room like this all of a sudden? I was really in the kitchen, guys. But if Tara's words are true, it would never make sense. Tara, did you lie? Why did you lie? Don't tell me. Tara's the culprit? I mean, on 10 p.m. the cafeteria closes, right? Cafeteria, yeah, closes. So that means 9:30 to 10 p.m. That's a lot of time for the culprit to get the knife. So I'm thinking, no. Why am I the culprit? What reason is there for me to kill Kizuna-chan? There's nothing. Oh, wait a second. 9:30 is the time of death of Kizuna. So yeah, huh. Uh-oh, this is not good. What reason is there for me to kill Kizuna-chan? There's nothing. I got it. She kept ignoring your persuasions and invitations. Did you bear a grudge? Funny, really. Kizuna-chan grudged a lot, but in the end she accepted us. The murder happened after that. I could see that you may not be the killer. Still, to say you were in the kitchen would be a lie. Why are you lying like that? No, it's not a lie. Tara, tell me honestly. I want to believe you, that you are not the culprit. So the Tara is really lying to us? Wait, I can't tolerate Akane being the culprit without corroboration. But I'm not trying to blame them. It doesn't make any sense if Tyra's words were true. No, there's a case where Akane's words can be proven to be true enough. What? It seems you haven't realized. Since you don't, let me show you. The fact that Akane never lied. Okay. Counter argument. Would you like to hear explanation? Yeah. Debate against a person. Disagreeing character. Could you speak out? Player could break opponent's words by pressing the decision key. Is it the Z, X, C? Don't know. The shift key using the select the truth file. If you can manage. Also, you can change the truth knife with the left right arrow keys. Elementary second on stop with knife. Shift key is used for white text, and when the decision is pressed, words are cut in order to be careful. Also, if you distribute the wrong yellow text, speed will be reduced. Ugh, god damn. When your speaking power is 0, HP will be reduced. Please pay in mind. Okay. If Kane's words were true, Tamari died to dive the kitchen. Then it's simple. As soon as they killed Tamari, they put the knife back in the kitchen. Time of that's 9:30. You can't use the knife before that. Well, there is still a contradiction. Did you forget Tamari's fatal injury? Meaning it's not hard to think death is not instant. In other words, the time of Tamari's death is almost consistent with the time using with the knife. You don't know that. The fact that such death said there was no once that problem is solved at least. Accomplish. Oh, cool. I was guessing. I was lucky. Holy shit, what a guess. Yes, 100. Fatano, I'm sorry, but there's a contradiction in that logic. What are you talking about? Is it possible to commit a crime while proving Tara's words? Hatano, you mean the killer is taking a knife out of the kitchen right after Tara leaves the kitchen to wash her clothes? And they run straight to the power room and put the knife back into Mori's body? Yeah, if you move quickly, it's quite possible in less than 3 minutes from the kitchen to the power room. Wow, what timing. Fast isn't a problem, did you forget, Hatano? By the time nighttime began, you guys were putting off a fire in the power room. Oh. Hatano, Kinjo, Mikaro, Uehara, if 4 people are in the power room and walk in with an object that stands out like a kitchen knife, it cannot be missed or even hidden in plain sight. In other words, even if Tyra secretly managed to pull the knife out of the kitchen, it's absolutely impossible to enter unnoticed too. The switch room and stab the knife on the body. I can't. Thanks for the explanation, Maeda. Thanks to you, it saved us trouble. Like Maeda said, Tano, I understand that you're a close friend to Tyra. Unfortunately, if Tyra's words were true, there would be an absolute contradiction to appear in her testimony. Akane, speak up your mind. Did you lie? Can I say one more important detail in this? When the current body discovery announcement showed up, the 4 of us who put off the fire and the 6 in the student dormitory confirmed each other, so there is an alibi for us. But Tyra Akane and Mikako Kurakawa, you two have no alibi. Well, this much has been proven thus far. Tyra really killed Tomori? No, I'm not the killer. Tyra? Really, the kitchen knife thing, I really don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. But I'm not really the culprit. I didn't kill Kizuna-chan. Akane, really? Can I trust you? But how do you explain that when you don't have an alibi? If you don't have it, means that either Tyra or Kurakawa are the culprit. You're the most potential suspect in every way. Is it so weird to cook alone and go to the bathroom? I just happen to be alone. Tyra, tell the truth. If you're not guilty, prove your innocence. Is Tyra really the culprit? Certainly, even without an alibi, there's 1 or 2 places in doubt. But was Tyra really with Tomori? No, I can't just doubt it yet. Not until all riddles are solved. I have to think what's been missing in the entire premise thus far. Oh, my back. Tyra is the Chinese culprit. Chinese culprit. I am not. Why is she the Chinese culprit? I'm not even sure if he's Chinese. Nani doesn't have an alibi since when? Kobashikawa and I say 8:30 p.m. That's what I think. And there's no alibi about after 1 hour 30 minutes with a witness missing. Okay. That'd be enough to kill a person. And for the fire, I did not. What was the fire for? You know, to make flames, to use the fire extinguisher. There were a lot of confusing things at the scene. Lighters and flashlights, fuse lines, etc. Oh wait, the antique shop. It doesn't have. She would be able to obtain them with the donut sheet. But what about the antique shop? Would the Tori know about that stuff? Jesus Christ, 90 points? Why? I didn't miss a beat. Doesn't make any sense. Wait, Kobashikawa, that's impossible. What? You mean about Tyra procuring the tools used in the crime? Yeah, Tyra has no alibi for the time being. I can't deny that. Bringing the tools, however, there sure is one. Oh, that's a certain alibi. I want to hear this. Yamaguchi's kinda useless, huh? Even though he's an ultimate lawyer, he doesn't really do lawyer stuff. The reason I know this is because of the fact that somebody told me. Somebody told me, right, Otori? Huh? Dude, wake up. Otori knew it. The lighter and fuse disappeared since late night. Gone? From where? My guess would be the antique shop again. Atori mentioned that he went to the antique store every day. After Maki's incident, the antique store was filled with most of the items. Then after nighttime on the second day, things used in this case suddenly disappeared as mentioned by Atori. Oh, that's it. That's right. I did check them. So are you saying the killer took the tools late at night on the second day? That would be the case unless Atori is lying. No lie, it's true. Hey, the second day Atori was almost 2 days ago. Why didn't you talk back then, knowing what kind of scheme was made when Maki was... I'm sorry, at that time I wasn't able to figure out things properly. It could have been my own mind playing tricks, so I wasn't really sure about it. Well, if you're sure that the tools were gone then, the killer took the tools in the middle of the night on the second day. That is what happened so far if I understand this correctly. May I ask why does that become Tyra's alibi? Why Atori said somebody becomes Tyra's alibi? It's because Tyra can't go to the antique stores on that night, yeah. Right, Uehara probably doesn't know about the 3 who weren't with Kinjo, and only the rest knows. So we know Tyra can't go to the antique store at night. And the reason is, because of the late night rule, yeah. Or was scared. Why Tyra couldn't break the tools at night? That is because of the nighttime rule, of course. Nighttime rule? Wait, what? If it's the nighttime rule, that's what Kinjo decided, right? To not come out of our rooms late at night after 10 p.m. When did you decide that? Mikharu and Uehara have no choice but to know, because the group decided when you were not there. Oh wait, that's it. They don't come out of the room at night. This means that all of the rest, meaning Mikharu and Uehara, who were on their own, could have come out after nighttime. Yeah, in other words, Tyra was also in the nighttime frame alibi for late nighttime. Yeah, I never came out of my own room at night. Wait a minute, there's no alibi at all. Huh? That late nighttime rule isn't a rule set by Monokuma, isn't it? So what makes you think it's a genuine rule? You don't get killed from breaking it and no evidence if you did, correct? I'm sorry, but I think the same thing. Even if Tyra followed the rules faithfully, it's no different from before without evidence. Yeah, the nighttime rule is useless. Does that mean... No, with that rule, Tyra's alibi could be enough. Kinjo-kun. Oh, what is it now? Until now, you've been pushing Tyra Akane, but you're at defense this time? Don't tell me you're defending your own rules now, because that's self-made rule. Surely not. I know the laxity this rule has. It's lax? Of course, as Mikharu said, it wasn't a formal rule and it was decided by ourselves, so there is no problem with breaking it. What? To break it? Isn't that actually helping a culprit? Oh no, Kinjo, did you suggest such thing even though you knew this would happen? Sorry I kept this a secret from you guys. Actually, I did some work on your private rooms. Work? Indeed. Every late night, I put a thin thread on the door of your private rooms. Thread? What does that mean then? In fact, it is pasted so that it passes between the wall connecting the door and the door frame. If you do this, the tape will break when the door is open and the thread will break as well. So if the thread was broken, it would sound like someone has opened the door. Now, I've been watching late at night every day this way. As each nighttime starts, I put a new thread on, and I got up earlier than anyone else in the morning to check if any of the threads were cut. So I can guarantee you, Tyra's never been out of the room in a single night past 10 p.m. Oh, did you do that? Then you know who exactly left the room on the night the tools were gone? No, unfortunately, I didn't find that out. What do you mean you couldn't figure it out? You mean you couldn't confirm that the thread was broken? No, it's because no one has broken the thread. What? That means... You mean no one left the room late at night the second day? To be precise, the rest except Mikharu, Uehara, and Tomori. because those three were an exception. Then that means that it was one of the three that was able to use the tools at the time. However, Tomori is already dead, so either Mikaro or Uehara are the culprit. Don't make such rash judgments. I swear I didn't commit a murder. Now wait a minute, Kinjo. What does it mean for us to have a thread on the door as a secret? What do you mean? I explained it was a device to check if you were out of the room. Not like that. It's as if you couldn't trust us at all. You mean you were spying on us without saying a word? Taira is right, Kinjo. You don't believe in us, don't you? It is not my reality to believe or not believe. This is just my nature, my own personality. I'm basically always suspicious of everyone, other than me. Why is that your nature? What's with the expressions of disapproval? I proved Taira's alibi thanks to the thread on the door, right? Reasoning itself, it's impossible. Unless you're basically suspicious of others. I mean, he has a point. Kinjo-kun, you really... Stop it, why do you keep trying to fight? This isn't the time right now. While we're doing this, Hatano's leg. Everyone calm down, even if you leave my legs. How many times is this gonna repeat already? It's not too late to cover up disputes even after the trial is over. Now let's focus on the case, please. Okay. So, is it just me and the priest who eventually took the tools? For now, I think so. But isn't that funny? You guys, all the other kids are suspicious, but Tsurugi Kinjo is not at all? What? I'll say this again, no matter how much you claim Taira Akane was in the kitchen, it's useless without evidence. What do you prove, Tsurugi Kinjo? That a guy attaches a thread to a door. Where is the evidence that confirms your actions? Kinjo? If you think he's the culprit, in all situations, he can sleep at will. Why is Tsurugi Kinjo not suspicious then? Yeah, he can move around, freestyle. Do you think I'm the culprit now? Well, I'm just talking about possibilities. But you know there's no evidence in your words, do you? If that's the case, there's no evidence for Otori's testimony, right? The only one to check these items was Otori, and even though it was just gone on the second day, we have no way to check it. What in blazes, you can't believe me now? One moment, if Kinjo's or Otori's words are false, isn't Taira's alibi also false? Wait, what? I'm telling the truth here. Everyone is in disarray. It's like they're trying to look for reasons to distrust each other, even more than in Maki's trial. Has our trust started to break? I don't want this outcome. I'm powerless on my own. Enough. Considering the true or falsehood of the testimony will change nothing, I believe. The testimony that has already been pointed is already a testimony worth considering. I'd like to approach this from the other side of the case. Kurokawa, I think this is the first time I came here that you said the longest speech. Kurokawa is right, you guys. Now, don't mind the trivial things. A lot of time has already passed. Focus on the idea of finding the culprit. As soon as you're finished, will it be daybreak till then? Am I already half asleep right now? You shut up. Yeah, it seems that we were so enthusiastic about the killer being liars. As Kurokawa said, let's turn around halfway back and move on. Okay, I think that would be good, because I also want to avoid making discord with you guys. Do whatever you want. To go around halfway, you mean talking about the identity of the criminal? Are you going to put things aside for a while? Either way, whether Taira lied or not, we don't have the evidence, no matter who is right or not. Let's first solve another mystery. Okay, that's fine too. The more urgent it is, the more necessary it is to go back to. But even if we go back, what do we do first? Basically the same as before. Do you guys recall? The most important thing in this case is the dead body. But aside who the culprit is, tell me what doubts you have about it. Then the path towards the outline of the culprit will look more natural. The body. Tomori's body was the most important clue. Let's recall in memory how Tomori's body looked. Awful. How Tamari was killed, let's think about it. Yeah. 2 wounds. Stomach wound. I thought about it before, but first of all, it's the knife, right? Yep, that is true. Yeah, the Monokuma file clearly points this out. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out, because, yeah, we know. Tamari was dead in the switch room. Yep, that is also true. Why did you go to such a place when there's not even light? It is possible the killer moved it, but that would leave blood trails, though. Anyhow, Tamari in some way went to the switch room, and then what? Without a judge, instant death? Nope. It's not instant death with a knife. Because there are stomach wound and then to the neck, so it's not instant death. You have got to be kidding me. Oh, sorry, that's not it. Remember, Tamari's cause of death was obviously the neck wound, but there was another wound. There was another one? The stomach wound, that's right. Right, that's the important point. The stomach was stabbed? Why is that important? The killer just stabbed her twice, right? In general it is, but think about it. The cause of the neck wound, in this case, for some reason, you stabbed your victim in the stomach and the neck later. If you were going to kill on the neck from the start, why do you want to stab at the stomach first? The stomach was hit cleanly, but the fatal wound was missed. However, she was killed in the end. Is there something amiss? That's so cruel. You can probably see it like that. Looking at the case as a whole, it takes something to put into notice. What do you mean something to notice? Perhaps the fire has something to do with it. Fire, that's right. It turned out that there was a fire in the switchium room. Right, it's also important. You guys, don't you think that the fire happened unnaturally? That's true. If you see a fuse on the wall and even a lighter on the floor, you could see it right away. So are you saying that the killer started the fire for some reason? Is there any reason to do that? This is also a question that doesn't really matter. Is the power room okay? I'm sure the switch room is a really important place, so I heard. It's a big deal if it gets damaged. Well, it's a really big place, it's cool. Of course a fire was there. Fortunately, we lived because the fuse line was laid to burn only the walls. But... oh, I was supposed to not speak, right? What did you say just now? It was laid to only burn the wall? Oh, it was kind of puzzling after all. There was such a big fire, but Tamari's body didn't burn at all. Only the wall without touching the machines or the body. Was there something on the walls? If it's a wall, what else was there? A fuse. A wall. If there's something on the wall in the switchroom room, there's nothing coming to mind. Wait. Looking back at it, there was a line passing by it too. Yeah. It was on the wall of the switch room along with something else. What was it again? Broken flashlight? Nope. Broken burn fuse line. Oh, was it the glass window? Oh wait, we already mentioned the fuse line, so it's probably the broken glass window. Oh yeah, it is. What was on the wall of the switch room? There's only one thing: the glass window. The glass window? The big glass window? But wasn't it broken by the time we arrived? Oh, well, it turns out that when Kid and the others brought the fire extinguisher to put out the fire, didn't they say they hear something? Cracking or breaking inside? That's right, at that time, I thought it was the sound of someone in the switch room breaking the window and going outside. I asked Koihara to check the entrance of the power room. In the end, no one was seen. Wait a minute, if the only thing on the wall of the switch room is a glass window, the culprit's purpose was to burn the window. Well, I think I heard this somewhere. When the glass is heated, it becomes fragile. Then the killer set fire to the switch room after killing Tamari and broke the fragile glass window while everyone put out the fire and take advantage of this to escape. Wait, isn't that weird? If that's the case, all you have to do is heat up the window and break it. There's no reason to do a big job by setting the whole wall on fire, waging for no reason, right? Fire waging? It's possible it was used as a smoke screen. Actually, Uehara tried to check the entrance, but didn't he say he couldn't see anything because of the smoke? Wow, that's too complicated. Anywho, doesn't that mean someone was inside the switch room right before we got in? Then me and Kijohora gathered at the point Uehara Mikaro has a definite alibi, right? No, you guys are making a big mistake right now. Huh? What do you mean? Think more carefully. Then in your thoughts, you can spot the contradictions. We are mistaken. What do you mean? Reorganize what you guys said. First, you go into the switch room, sure the fuse and lighter were used. Yeah. The reason the killer used those is because there was a purpose for setting a fire. Yeah. The fuse was only surrounded by the wall, right? That would have burnt the walls. Yep. In addition to windows, there were no special items in there. Yeah, that is true. Meaning the culprit broke the window and smoke started to spread. Did you check that, Inori? Glass windows are fragile when heated. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the molecular state changes and cracks occur. If it was so fragile, the killer was prying. Nope. The glass shards were. Yeah. Sorry, Inori, you're wrong. Or a contradiction. Good Lord Almighty, what the hell kind of point is this shit? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what. As Kenji said, I think we were mistaken for one thing. It's what Inori said right now. The broken glass, that's what I mean. What are you talking about? You know for sure the glass window is broken, aren't you? Yeah, the glass window is broken, but it wasn't broken by anyone. It wasn't broken by anyone? Did the window break on their own? That's a bit ridiculous, but I guess it's not a wild fantasy. Now, Maeda made a very precise point. As Maeda mentioned, the window was broken alone without anyone touching it. Wait, really? Is it possible? Like Inori said, the glass is weak to heat. Of course, it can withstand a certain degree, but if it is heated directly or if the temperature difference between indoors and outdoors is severe, the weakness becomes more prominent. You guys remember the structure of the switch room. It was completely enclosed space except for the entrance, right? In fact, even when the fire broke out, I couldn't feel any heat outside. Yeah, Kinjo's words are correct, but still, isn't it too much for a glass to break just by thermal change without any external force? Of course, the conditions are just right, not impossible, but I don't know what you're saying. Right, as Inori mentions, the logic is a bit far-fetched, but what if the conditions were met? Huh? I don't know if anyone noticed it because it wasn't a part that was noticeable at the scene of the incident, and because the switch room itself was dark and probably no one was interested in it, but the glass window of the switch room was very tight. That's it. If the heat alone was left with enough time to break by itself, Kinjo's words would make sense. Hey, it's an interesting reasoning, but what's the basis of it? That it was only possible that the glass could break on its own by hearing this? You didn't throw this without thinking, right? Of course not, because Kinjo's remarks have an adequate basis. Isn't that right, Kinjo? Isn't that right, Kinjo? Right, did you also notice it, Maeda? Yeah, actually, I was also guessing when I said that the window wasn't broken by someone. The exact reason the glass broke on its own. That's probably because of the glass shards, right, Kinjo? The shards? Correct. Please don't tell me I'm the only one in the world that doesn't get this stuff until you give me a proper explanation. At first, I only knew that the killer would make use of the window in some way to escape without fail, but Kinjo said during the investigation... Let's see. Then please do, I need to investigate the window more. Oh, Kinjo, 1 second, can I ask you one more thing? I just heard the whole situation from you, but I still don't get what's weird about the glass shards from the window. To simply put, it's neatly broken. Oh, okay, I get it. The glass was neatly broken. What does that mean, you ask? In other words, it means if you broke it with human strength, it wouldn't break like this. It's human power, it's neatly broken. I don't understand it. I see, what you mean is the broken shape. When I listen to Meta and think again, it really feels like that. Yeah, if someone breaks a window with a hand or a blunt object, it should crack and break like a spider web. Have you ever experienced it at least once? You accidentally broke a glass? Yeah. Ooh boy, high school. Or the shape of a broken glass? Oh, definitely. It looks like it was broken into a very complex shape like cobwebs. But how is the glass window of the switchium? It's like a broken shape, as if part of the window somehow got neatly removed. No matter how you look at it, don't you think it was broken by an unnatural way? It certainly looks that way. There seems to be no contradiction in Kinjo's words. Funny, isn't it? Mikaro, you must have known this much. I'd like you to stop trying to test me. Don't think of the class trial as a joke, Mikaro. Oh my, thanks for the advice. I'm just worried that one day you'll become as lost as these friends of yours. Kinjo, don't mind Mikaro, keep going. Actually, they just finished explaining. Lol. Wait a minute, if Kinjo's words are true, then when the fire broke out, doesn't it mean that nobody was inside the switchium? Oh, so that's what he meant. Wouldn't that be very likely? If someone was inside and were trying to escape, it would be quicker to break the glass manually, instead of waiting to be heated in order to break itself. Yeah, besides, Uehara at the time opened the entrance to the power room and guarding it, no matter how thick the smoke was. If someone tried to leave, they would have been caught. At that time, we all thought we hadn't seen them because we all knew someone broke the glass. But in reality, no one was inside the switchium. And thus, the killer deliberately heats the glass and breaks itself, and for the reason of making us think. Someone inside the switchium broke the glass and escaped. Ooh, clever. Okay, that's it, right? Then, in the end, everyone's alibi no longer holds. Is that the conclusion? Think about it. If there was no one inside the switchium, the killer was ready to start a fire in advance. He could mix in at us at any time. If that's the case, aren't you saying that it's possible for everyone to start a fire, including Kinjo and the group who went to put out the fire when the window was broken, and the rest of us in the dormitory side? Nani? You mean we don't have an alibi either? Yamaguchi's right. Anyone can commit a crime by reasoning from the information provided thus far. Hold on, isn't that established under the premise that the reason who caused the fire is the culprit? It hasn't been clear yet, but it seems too hasty. There's no reason for a person who is not the culprit to set out a fire. I'm not crazy enough. Even so, at the beginning, the timing of this incident, Tomori's death occurred around 9:30 p.m. Was anyone close by during that time? I mentioned this earlier, but I was cooking alone. I was looking around the warehouse for things to help with the treatments. It was useful for Atano's first aid. I was just lying in my own bed. What the? You mean everyone was alone? There does not seem to be anyone near the time of the crime. The only way we could see each other was to find out where each one was, or where the alibis were lost, with the exception of Mikaro, Uehara, and Kurokawa. What? Then are we back where we started? There's no evidence that everyone has an alibi or to deduce the culprit. That's why. You mean there's no one in doubt? No suspects? But then, who was it? Tyra, except you. What? What? Isn't this deja vu again? You know, maybe we're in an infinite loop now. Stop doubting Akane. Didn't I talk about her testimony finished before? No, it wasn't over. It's just that it was put on hold because there was so much uncertain information, nothing resolved about why she lied. No, I didn't lie. Wait, it's not Tyra, as the testimonies of Kinjo and Notori proved it, right? Yeah, that's right. Whoever the culprit is, they have to prepare a fuse and a lighter to start a fire. But wasn't it mentioned that Tyra didn't come out of their room in the middle of the night when we went to our private rooms? I'm uncertain about that. Frankly, I'm suspicious of each of them, and they were put on hold. Shouldn't we use the information we have, even if it's uncertain information, unless there is an objection to definitely deny it? I apologize, I'm really sorry. Even if there is an alibi for bringing the tools, I'll just keep it in mind. Tyra's lie, however... To be honest, it's the same with me. If she's not the killer, why did she make such suspicious remarks? Hey, I told you, I might have been mistaken. Well, either way, Tyra wouldn't be able to get the tools, so she can't be the killer. Enough with this meaningless argument. You are really just stupid. What now? Do you think we're stupid? She just said that. Is it so stuffy that you can't see it? Want me to share some insight? What the? At the start of the class trial, you said you wouldn't even help. Oh, did I? Then I won't meddle. Do it yourself. No, that isn't... Listen first, Mikaro might know something, you know? I'll tell you one thing for those who are ignorant and poor, is that there's a method for the criminal to get the tools without using their hand. Say it then. The most representative example is an accomplice. You suspected that there could have been an accomplice in the last class trial, right? But Mikaro, isn't less likely that we have one in this case? You were informed that the only person to escape this place would be the killer. Moreover, even if there is an accomplice, it's impossible for them to bring the tools. According to Kinjo, in the middle of the night, the day of the tool disappeared. Not only Tyra, but also because neither of us left our private rooms. Except for the three who didn't act with us. Then it's gotta be Uehara and Mikaro, the ones who helped Tyra. Why are you already making it confirmed as I did? It's not me. Okay, surely Mikaro and me were able to roam around without any restrictions that day, but I haven't shown up to the antique shop until now. You don't even have to doubt me or Uehara, Kinji, the person who brought the items from the antique shop. Can't you see it? Based on the testimonies from Kinjo and Notori, there were only 3 people who were free to move around at night during the day. Mikaro is saying that the accomplice is obviously visible. Surely it can't be that person, right? Yeah, if it isn't Rei, if it isn't Kinji, the only one left is Tomori. Yep. Mikaro, the person who brought the tools, you mean it was Tomori? Huh? It was Tomori? That's right, if you have an accomplice, Tomori Kizuna shows up. You can't see anyone else, can you? By the way, I'm so ashamed that the incompetent had to answer this. Lol. Wait a minute, Tomori's the victim though. Why is she an accomplice? She was the only one who brought the tools, not necessarily the one that did the killing. That's I'm not exactly sure. But the only ones to bring the tools are Mikaro, Uehara, and her. She was the victim, so I wondered if there would be a contact with the criminal at some point. Incompetent. This is a common pattern, is it not? The story of a criminal tricking someone into a crime. Speaking of which, the criminal took advantage of the accomplice in the end. Wait a minute, Kinjo can also bring the tools at nighttime. There's no way to prove that Kinjo was out of their room or not. Didn't the time run out while talking about that? Believe or not to believe, you're free to believe. Now I think it's wise to follow one more clear information that uncertain leads. Yeah, if you are with some more, you can definitely bring the tools. So what happened? For some reason, Tamari did something funny. The killer himself maintained an alibi that Tamari delivered the tools to the killer in the late night hours. Now wait a second, but Kizuna-chan didn't change her mind. There has to be a reason to decide and help the killer. You said she was an accomplice, but she can't actually get on the level of an accomplice. What the accomplice did was just deliver the tools. I need this thing, please bring these for me. Is not enough excuse. What about it? If Tara is the culprit, there's nothing strange about that, right? No. That is not... Tara, I'm sorry. I hate to doubt you, but no matter how much I look, there's only you. You too? Everybody, this is too much. Why are you all so anxious to turn me into a bloody killer? You don't even have an alibi. The only difference... She's so cute when she cries though. The only difference between you and me is that I made a mistake once. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? You just got an appropriate stick, so you're hunting witches, you villains. Apologies, but it's a situation that doesn't seem to be as bad as it is right now. I'm the culprit only because there's no certainty at all. Tyra is the culprit, is that really it? As Tyra said, there's only one thing everyone is suspicious of her right now. It's just a witch hunt, if there's no solid evidence. Let's think about it. Was there any more convincing evidence? Is Tyra telling the truth, or is she lying? Flash anagram. Sure. Flash anagram, you match important clues in your mind while the game's going. A part of the clue or syllables displayed. Letters roam randomly, in addition, yada yada. Okay, which is completely correct. Okay. Get him. Yeah. Got him. I'm expecting 100. A million. Okay. Come to think of it, there's a clue about the culprit's identity. Oh. A clue to the killer's identity. Is that true? If you knew that, why did you mention this now? Sorry, I just remembered. And even though it's a clue to the killer, I don't know who it's pointing to. You don't even know who it's pointing to? Then how do you know it's a clue to the killer? Meta, what you're referring to is the dying message, is that correct? Right, some may not have seen it, but next to Tamari's body, there were some letters written in blood. A dying message, is it? Sounded like a cryptogram that point to the killer before they die. Everyone, take a look at this. This is the dying message presumed to have been written by Tamari. Hey, this is it? I've seen this blood spot too. I just thought the blood splattered in a strange shape. It actually looks like that, but if there's any meaning in these letters... This is a clue to the culprit, right? I think it's a good idea to decipher the dying message, rather than being suspicious of Akane while catching a fuss over it. But what does this say? Do we have any letters? Uppercase X. X, 4 X's? I don't know what this means at all. I think Kijo or Mikara may know. Isn't this a professional's job? Basically, the dying message refers to the culprit more directly than you think. Because it's just before she dies, the victim cannot afford to waste their time thinking. In other words, if you think a little, it has various meanings that will need to be solved. Don't think very hard, just change your perspective a little. 4x, does that number have any meaning? Actually, doesn't it seem like the last x is a little big? It seems to have a different meaning from the first 3 x's. What is x? The meaning of x? Math, I don't know. You guys are really stupid. What? Does that mean you understood the meaning of this dying message? Of course not. There's nothing to understand. This is not a password. It literally points to the killer. What? That was it. What do you mean, literally? Well, first of all, if you don't know even after telling you this, I'd rather be executed and die. No, wait, wherever you look, it only reads X. Katakana. Huh? Katakana word. Think about it. No, I don't think about it. I'm not Japanese enough to think about these sort of things. Katakana is... It makes sense to people who know the language. I'm not. I don't. Wait, katakana? You mean the Japanese sword? No, it's katana. Obviously, this dying message looks like the letter X at first glance. It's because there's a lot of blood, but from a different perspective, it really looks like katakana. A letter that reads like an X in katakana. Kind of X, the most familiar one, I can see. So me. Now, there are many things you can think other than that. In fact, Japanese can be read differently enough, even if it's written a little skewed. It's not strange for a person on the verge of dying writes with their own blood, but it would be weird if they would write straight. Then what were they trying to draw in the end? The middle X, the third X, the opposite X, the long vertical strokes. If X is tilted, it becomes that. Where the vertical stroke is long, if it's long, 2I Meto E. I don't know, man, I'm getting a headache. Hard for you to think, huh? No, wait, what this word means is, when I think of it as katakana, the first X is almost similar to me. I'll give you one more hint. The third X has a symbol that seems to hiding, see? What? It seems I can't see anything like that. Look closely, it's buried in the big X next to it. It's hard to see, because there's a drop of blood in that exact location. I don't know if you say so. Allow me to raise a question to you. Kinjo, your reaction seems to be the reaction after knowing the correct answer. At one point, after listening to Mikaro and Kurokawa's words, I came to realize it. It seems like there are some other people who solved it besides me. The identity of the dying message. If you think of it as katakana, the first letter is me, and the last one has a hidden symbol. The second and third letters with long vertical strokes, the candidates are Meito. When I think about these combinations, I think I can see the answer for sure. Ut? What? What does ut mean? But. Should I believe this answer? Meito. Mado. Okay. No, I have no choice but to accept the result. I have to do it. The person this dying message points to the person's identity. I have to admit it. Mado. Where is she? Oh, there you are. The meaning of the dying message. As Kurokawa mentioned, this was a text that could be read as it was in katakana. However, it just looks like the letter X because it's a little bloated. Meta, do you know the meaning of the dying message? Well, Kurokawa, Mikaro, and Kinjo's hints set on. I'll explain it to you guys from now on. First of all, the first letter, as everyone guessed, it's me. This was easy to understand that even if you look at it, you can confuse it a little. With an X, right? I think the second letter is probably E. I. Me. If you use the vertical stroke a little longer, it overlaps the horizontal stroke. It has a similar shape to me. And the third letter is pretty hard to recognize, but I was able to guess based on Kinjo's voiceless remarks in the first two letters. Yeah, that makes sense. Nope. Doesn't make sense to me. Maybe this one is supposed to be Do. This one is close to E. If you write a longer horizontal stroke, it will have the same shape as X. I'm still unsure what the last big X means, but once you look at it this far, it's true that one word comes to mind. Maid. Yeah, but the big X means, no, not the maid, I think. Ultimate maid student, Chira Akane. Eh? Got him. Oh boy. Suspended. Check the truth bullets. What are the things we haven't, the birthmarks we haven't discussed that yet? Done with that. Inori's medical exam, broken flashlights. We still have a lot more. Burned fuse line, piece of bloody cloth, lighter. Secret message, Yukimeda. Blood marks on the entrance side, wire trap, Chana's injury, third flashlight, testimony. What does a revamped version mean? Kinjo's testimony, window fragments, revamped version, okay. Let's save here, just in case something happens. Resume the trial. Tyra, among us, the word maid refers to. Or rather, I can't think of anyone but you. Akane. It's really her. You killed Tamari? Now wait a minute, there must be a misunderstanding. I mean something like this. This is too much. Please wait a minute, everyone. I have nothing. I didn't do anything. The dying message was written by a person. The Lord does not lie. As long as the dying message refers to the word maid, it has already been revealed. Was it a lie at the beginning of the trial to cover up her crime? No. Tara, tell me with your own words. Are you really the culprit? Me? I'm not the killer. Akane. Why am I the culprit? The dying message may say the word maid, but there's a big X next to it. You guys have only interpreted the maid and didn't interpret the X after that. That X could literally be an X. Doesn't that mean negative? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In other words, it means not the maid, so I'm not the culprit. I don't know yet if Tara what said is true, but certainly as she said, we haven't fully decoded the dying message yet. Okay, the X at the end. Well, if you simply look at it, it really looks like it says not the maid, but if the dying message means not the maid, as Tyra says, I would rather be more suspicious of Tyra. Huh? Why? Don't you think so? Who is the killer? I don't recall seeing messages saying who is not the killer. Seems illogical to write. An innocent one in blood by the own victim. Rather, you would think it's not the maid to take herself off the suspect list. Hey, doesn't that mean the culprit themselves wrote the dying message? That's right, there's no law saying that dying messages are all true. They can show up in many ways. For example, the killer manipulates the dying message to lead an advantage in the trial. Yeah, maid X as it is, meaning the only one who would benefit from writing that is not a maid would be the maid herself, Tyra. Whether the interpretation of the dying message is this or that, there's no way to avoid the word maid. Akane, you really are. Is Tyra really the culprit? Can we conclude the case like this? But what is this feeling? Is it my heart screaming? I feel like all of this, it feels so contradictory. Is it okay to end up with Tyra being the culprit? Can I vote now? It'll be painful to do anymore. It'll just be, I just want to end this quickly. And I'm also sleepy. Wait. Kurokawa. Obviously. It's true that Tyra is suspicious. Clearly the way she acted seems questionable. However, there's a problem yet to be solved. What? An unsolved problem? As Kurokawa said, it's too soon to end like this. There must be a cause for this unpleasant feeling. Yeah, a secret that hasn't been solved yet. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting dizzy. Yep, I can see it very clearly. Some things that haven't been answered yet. An unsolved problem I do not know. Oh, what's the point? The dying message is also over. What else is there? The secret of the window is over. Yep. So procurement problem has also been solved. Yeah, thanks for that. Wait a minute, is there anything left remaining as Kurokawa says? Yep. Here, you can see my truth bullet. Only for murder, you're thinking. Don't you think cases other than murder? Yep. Break. Good lord, what the fuck? Yeah, right, that's it. Did you find something, Maeda? Guys, I think it's a little bit early to call Tyra the culprit. What? What do you mean? You're the one that said the dying message had the word made. About that, I still can't conclude for sure. Thanks to Kurokawa, I could think of something actually. Right after the incident, do you all remember Hatano's injury? Of course, now the trial is coming to an end and Hatano's condition is worsening. Get that in order, okay? Why was Hatano injured? Everyone, think about it. Why did she get hurt? You saw it. She was hurt by a wire trap in the leg. Think about it. Who installed the wire trap? When does this come into place? I mean, the killer must have installed it. That's it. In other words, your opinion is that the suspected killer, meaning Tyra, installed the wire trap, right? Now, wait a second. I've never installed anything like that. Why would I aim for Ayame-chan? That doesn't really mean you can't, though. Wait a minute, Tyra installed the wire trap? The wire trap is there, but when was it installed? When was the wire installed? I don't know exactly what's on the wire, but I can guess because I was there when Hatano was injured. Hatano was trying to grab something at that time. The wire was installed along the way to serve as the bait for it. Then the wire must have been installed as soon as the object was placed. And that object wasn't there, at least until that point. So then when was the wire installed? After the investigation began, obviously. When the wire was installed, it was probably immediately after starting the investigation. I believe so. Is there a good reason for that opinion? The wire is not visible, so the exact installation time of the wire itself is unknown, but by other elements, it can be inferred. Actually, Hatano wasn't just hurt. When she was injured, I know I was right next to them, but Hatano was injured by the wire while approaching to find and investigate some kind of object. She got caught in the trap. Hatano, do you remember? Perhaps, are you referring to the burnt flashlight? Yeah, there was no such thing in the corner when I found the body with everyone in the power room, but it was there after the investigation started. In other words, the killer used the flashlight as bait to induce someone to get caught in the wire trap. If so, they set the flashlight and installed the wire at the same time. Immediately after the investigation began is the approximate time to install it. Yeah, it's right after the start of the investigation, right? The wire was installed shortly after the investigation began. Yep, I just said that. Yamaguchi? It's strange. This is weird. Weird. Is it not weird? Why the sudden yelling? Everyone, open your ears and listen. If Tyra is the culprit, it means Tyra installed the wire right after the investigation started, yeah? But that's impossible. Why, you ask? It's because Tyra was with me. You're with Tyra? Surely? Then there was a relationship? No, you idiot. Doofus. Can you stop that? Don't put a joke like that at a time like this. Huh? Does that mean... I know this exactly because Tyra was in the same place I was and we didn't do anything. That's not how you're supposed to do an investigation, dude. Don't be proud that you didn't do anything. What? How can you say that you didn't do anything so proudly? Yeah, I just said that. No, what I mean is I was going to do some investigation, but I seldom made progress, so... Anyway, that's not what's important. It's Tyra's story. I swear to you, Tyra has been stuck in one spot since everyone gathered to the power room until the trial announcement came out. What? Is that for real? Apart from anything else, there was only one spot that was inefficient even if you did a little investigation. I want to hear why. Why didn't you mention this, Tyra? No, that it was shocking that Kizuna-chan died. Did any of us do that? Even so, everyone participated in the investigation, but that is not a reason. It doesn't really matter. What's important than that now is Tyra didn't do anything at the time of the investigation, meaning she couldn't install the wire, right? Yeah, that's why I said it's weird. Then Tyra is not the killer. I mean, I've been trying to say that from the very beginning. But what's called a maid? Are we wrong with that interpretation? It's not just that Tyra lied. She's still suspect no matter how we continue. But when that happens, you can't explain the wire trap. What's going on? I think my head will be weird if it gets twisted anymore. Can we stop this already? If you want to die, do it. I won't stop you. It's definitely weird. Apart from being simply contradictory, logically, it's playing itself. Separately, as if several incidents seem to be a gathering event. Dark gathering? Man, I love the anime. Why? What's missing? It's as if the contradictions don't stop to conclude that Tyra is the culprit, but there doesn't seem to be any different direction in this case. What is the truth of this case? If Tyra isn't a culprit, what have we been doing so far for? You mean it was all good for nothing? But if that's the case, then who is the culprit? Who do we vote for? I can't keep going. We keep hitting dead ends. Even in the midst of this, Hatano's leg injury must be getting worse. Well, I'll say this, other than Tyra, is there not another suspicious person? Who is that? Kurokawa? What? Why Kurokawa? Well, I don't understand it because of the dying message the wire installed, but Kurokawa suddenly disappeared during the investigation. Isn't she suspicious to anyone? Looking at it, the broadcast announcing the start of the class trial rang, but we gathered quite late and the Monokuma brought her. And Monokuma. Didn't Kinjo mention this? He said that he had main suspects in mind. If Tyra, who's been attracting attention as a high-level suspect, is not the culprit, will the other suspect Kurokawa, who is the next suspicious person, naturally be her? Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Well, nothing at all. Wait a second, is it true that Kurokawa was late, but what disappeared during the investigation was investigated by Kurokawa's own way? It was Kurokawa's discovery that the kitchen knife was actually disappeared from the kitchen. But even if they were investigating, still, why arrive late? I was curious from the start of the trial. I want to know the reason of being late, even if you're not the culprit. Kurokawa, you're not a killer, right? Please answer us, don't be uneasy. I'm not the culprit. The reason for being late, I can't tell you now. After the trial, I'll tell you why. If it was for a good reason, isn't there no reason to hide it? Why can't you tell us? The more you hide it, the more suspicious it gets. I'm sorry, but trust me, I'm not the killer. Regardless of the reason, isn't it a little too much to say that Kurokawa is the culprit? She doesn't seem to have anything to do with the dying message. It would have been possible to install the wire, however. No, but there is no other way. This is impossible. She is impossible. It's all possibilities again. Who is the killer then? Even if it's a ghost, it's not impossible? You really are fools without answers. Shouldn't you be aware of this? Huh? What do you mean? What? That's the truth of the case. I told you, didn't I? I said I wouldn't help you people, but once it's a trial with my life at stake, if there's no answer, I'll solve it. So in other words, you are idiots with no answer to the extent that I have to come out like this. Damn it, Mikaru's destroying us! Mikaru's attitude is sarcastic, but I think she knows something. Mikaru may give us a clue about the situation that we cannot overcome alone. When you look at the goals for your reasoning, I can see how hard your brains are. To put it simply, you are fools who try to solve the same solution without thinking of any other method when no other problem is solved. Thank you for your kind summary description, but you, what do you know yourself? If the same method doesn't work, you should know how to challenge it using a new method. Understood, child? But what do you mean by new method? It means throwing away stereotypes. Oh my, when it's so quiet, you finally open your mouth, psycho police. Is it not a problem if the best young police officer in Japan gets slower answers than a professor? It doesn't matter, but I guess it's all a competition for you. Let's just say it's not. There's nothing to be gained from this charade. There's something sparkling between you two. But what's that mean? Stereotypes? To throw it away? Did you both find out something? I'll apologize first. When the trial happened, I was about to be overthrown by the killer because of the misinterpretation of the case. But I deserved it. I was guessing to some extent, but I didn't think the case would be so twisted. It was twisted? It's natural to say you guys made it public. The case is simple. There's a criminal and that criminal killed the victim. If you tried to solve it, there will be contradictions. Then wait a minute, so that this isn't a murder case? No, it is a murder. It's clearly malevolent, but do you recall what I mentioned earlier? An ordinary murder case would be difficult to solve if you think of it as a simple step-by-step scenario. While investigating before the trial, I guessed the outline frame, but at that point, I couldn't confirm this either. However, as the trial progressed, Tyra's reactions and the dying message being solved, a truth was reached. To be precise, the riddle that has been solved so far was one that derived from a clue, but what's the truth about it? To put this simply, this crime is not a case where there's one culprit and one victim being mentioned. What? Not one culprit, not one victim. So you mean there was an accomplice? But didn't Monokuma say that accomplices had no advantage? No, it's a bit ambiguous to call it an accomplice, but what is certain is that a third party, other than the criminal, was clearly involved. A third party? Who was it? You, Akane. Eh? Tyra was a third party? Is that different from a culprit or accomplice? For starters, I like to see it like that. As you guys said, if you're a criminal, you have to install a wire trap, but Tyra herself couldn't afford it because of Yamaguchi. You also saw Tyra stand still during that time. Then Akane no longer needs to be questioned, right? No, wait a minute, I'm really sorry, but I still don't get it. If Tyra isn't a culprit, I don't know why the dying message points to the maid, and she even lied to us. That's why I told you, Tyra is a third party in this case. What? It's not a culprit, it's different from an accomplice, but it's obviously a third party who was heavily involved in the case. Maybe she's not even aware of it. The woman's personality is showing her heart on her face. It's proof that the maid lied and wrote the dying message, lying to everyone here. It seems by her facial expressions you don't understand it. Okay, before discussing the real criminal, let's begin with a question about it. Tyra is just a suspect, she's a third party. Yeah, I just said that. I'm not sure what that means. According to your reasoning, at first glance, Tyra Akane looks like the culprit. But for Akane to put the wire trap is not possible. There's a contradiction. In fact, it's okay to say that your reasoning in return is the correct answer. A rookie mistake. Someone clean up this mess. In the first place, being a third party, doesn't that mean there's a third person besides the criminal and the victim? Yep, the third flashlight. 3 or more people were involved in the crime. Is this any of this prove this? Third flashlight. Jesus Christ, 90 points? How the hell do I get 100 points? No, O'Hara, wait. There was evidence of 3 people involved in the crime. What would that be? A flashlight, of course. There was one more flashlight. What do you mean there was one more? Atano, that flashlight you were trying to pick up. Oh, that's why Atano injured her leg on the wire. That flashlight, right? But what does it mean when you say there was one more? I think there were some people who haven't seen it. Let me tell you. In the switch room, there were 2 broken flashlights. By the way, man, other than those 2, the third flashlight. On the day the second floor was open, everyone saw it while investigating, right? It's a dark place where the switch doesn't light up. Without a flashlight, nothing is visible. And the fact that Tamari died, there would have been something to do with the switch room, and in that case, she must have brought a flashlight. So one of the 3 flashlights would have to be the one Tamari brought. And if you don't see anything, murder is not possible. It means the culprit killed Tamari inside the switch room, and the culprit also took a flashlight. So the second flashlight was brought by the killer. Huh? Hey, wait a minute. Who is the owner of the third flashlight? That's right, Matt explained it very well. The switch room is not a known place, so there's nothing visible, so naturally you expect to carry a flashlight in order to go there. Even if I went, I would need my flashlight back once I'm done with my business. There's no reason to leave it behind. Wasn't this the aftermath of a struggle between the criminal and Tamori? One moment, isn't that just by reasoning alone? Unless there's 0% chance that someone forgot it and left it in the past, it wouldn't be clear. No, O'Hara, there's evidence that all of the 3 flashlights are involved in the incident. As Kinja said, 2 flashlights were broken and the other, the last one, it was burnt. Correct, it's a flashlight before it got caught in the fire. That's the flashlight that was on the scene. Now you realize, is there a fool who still don't understand? According to your inference, the fact that the case involved 3 people was the adequate basis of this case. I had no idea. You must not have known. Probably the killer tried to use Tara. Really? What does that mean? We've come this far, so I wonder if it's okay to reveal it. I call Tara a third party, but this doesn't mean that you simply witnessed or helped the killer. What is it then? How Tara was involved in this incident. By the time, everyone might have noticed. Not the culprit, but the executioner. Is it appropriate to call him like this? Eh? What's an executor? No way that fits Tara stabbing Tamari. I guess she didn't even do it. That's right. There's a criminal who killed her breath with a critical hit, but it was probably Tara who made Tamari moribund? What? Tamari moribund? What does that mean? What? Yeah, I don't understand too. That's a lie. Tyra did. Kinja, wait a minute. Hey, don't you know what I'm talking about? Tyra Akane, you're also a criminal who committed attempted murder, you bloody bitch. What? Now, wait a second. What is this so suddenly? Hey, is Tyra the executioner? What's wrong, Kabashikawa? You said you couldn't admit that Tyra wasn't the culprit? No, rather than being able to admit it. But why did Tyra... Yeah, I don't know what it means that there's another criminal who inflicted a critical hit even though she was an executioner in the first place. I can't believe that Akane did this. If you dishonor Akane without a compelling reason, I cannot forgive you. Oh wait, seems the pieces are starting to fit together. That's right, Tyra would never do something like that. It's starting again. Didn't people say that they can't know just by looking at them? All you think Tyra Akane is not the one to do that. After all, you just don't know enough about her. But why don't you tell me why would Tyra stab Tomori to the verge of death? How did that happen? You've already let that go, didn't you? We let her go? You don't mean... Yeah, the evidence that Tyra Akane personally injured Tomori Kizuna is exactly what you suspect. A dying message pointing to the maid, Tyra Akane's suspicious lie. But why wasn't she the culprit of the direct murder? That was also solved by you. Simple, isn't it? That woman didn't have time to install the wire. What? Everyone looks like you can't understand. Sorry, but besides this, there is evidence that Tyra Akane committed a murder attempt. Well, is there any other evidence? No, Kinjo is right. There's evidence I can only think of. Maeda, even you? Why? I'd love to think that, but as Kinjo says, it's all true. I knew it too. If you look at the scene of the incident, there were traces of others who couldn't exist. That trace was probably left by Tyra. According to the images in my memory, there's one definitive clue. Sure. Spot selection, images of photos in your memory will begin to appear. Look for the places that contain the answer to the current topic. Method simple, photo picture, fit the current topic. Minigame is pointing a place where you can find, okay. Point it, okay, cool. You will lose speech power, start again. Spot selection. Yeah. Remember what we discussed earlier about why the killer started the fire? The fire was used to heat the glass window and break it remotely, and to make us think the killer was inside the switchium and smashed the glass to escape, right? Clever. Yeah, and in fact, we almost got caught in that trap and confused our reasoning. Now we were talking about why Tyra was involved in the case. Think carefully. If the killer's purpose was to make us think they broke the glass, why is there a blood spot at the entrance? Blood stain at the entrance? Is that so? A blood stain like walking out of the switchium. That's evidence from a third party that's different from the criminal's intentions. Was that from a struggle? Maybe it's just Tomori's blood. If Tomori went out of the switchium while bleeding, the power room outside should have also been filled with blood spots, don't you think so? Does that mean the blood spot was after coming out of the switchium because it was dark then? There were 2 broken flashlights inside the switchium. If it were broken during a struggle, you wouldn't know that blood would splatter in the dark after you stabbed Tomori. Well then, the blood traces come from Akane? Wait a minute, after the killer attacked Tomori, they could have set off the fire after walking out towards the entrance without knowing that the blood was on it, right? In this way, there's no room for Tyra to intervene. Inori, I'm sorry, but that's also impossible. The one who killed Tomori by killing her definitively probably didn't splash a drop of blood in their body. Yeah, because maybe the killer used that tool to prevent the blood from bleeding right before they stabbed Tomori. That tool was... this. Piece of bloody cloth. Actually, there was a piece of cloth covered in blood in the corner of the switchium. Bloody. This is... right, anyone planning a murder must be concerned about the bleeding. Probably they use it on Tomori without a drop of blood on your own body. If the real culprit uses it and murders Tomori, there's no reason for a blood smear on the entrance. What? Then she really... are you saying Akane stabbed Tomori? I can't believe it. Why did Tyra do that? Tyra, no matter what you did in the end, there's a real criminal who directly killed Tomori other than you. You're not treated as a real criminal in this trial. If you admit to the crime, you won't be executed. So tell me, with your own mouth, did you really do it, and why? I'm sorry. Sorry? Are you sorry? That is really true? You guys are right. I'm the one... I stabbed Kizuna-chan. What? I'm not particularly sympathetic, but I'm curious. Why did you do that? Kizuna-chan. No, Tomori Kizuna. Because she was a human being who had no choice but to die. What are you talking about? It was Taira herself that most defended Tomori, didn't you? I'm sorry, it's just in case I was found out. I just made an excuse and got scared. That must have been it. Actually, you seem to believe that you were the real culprit. But I want to believe in this. I never decided to kill and stab Kizuna-chan. What does that mean? You didn't stab with murder intention, but after that remark, you seem to despise Tomori. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Let me give you an explanation. I'm not sure about Mikara and Urahara know this, but the day after the motives came out, we all went to persuade Kizuna-chan. Actually, Kizuna-chan was also in loneliness, and she tried to convince herself because she knew it deep down. I finally opened my heart to Kizuna-chan, and we hugged, and I finally thought we became friends, truly. But that evening, Kizuna-chan had something to talk about, so she called me to the switch room. I took a flashlight and went there. Kizuna-chan, are you here? Right here, Taira. Kizuna-chan, I know you wanted to talk about something, but why in such a dark place? Yeah, no one's coming here, right? Oh, no, I don't think so. So what do you wanted to talk about? Yeah, that's right. I'm too scared now. What? Scared? Why? You know the motives given by Monokuma, remember? Our secrets are written in there. It seems like you all throw it away, but I got no clue who I stumbled upon in the trash. Someone's secret. Do you want to see? First, look at the contents. What is this? Yuki and Adam actually know the identity of the mastermind? What? Maeda, is that true? No, I'm just a normal student. You're not lying, right? You're not actually playing with us while you know about them, do ya? Stop it. Now is not the time to reapproach each other. Yeah, the message is surprising, but it is urgent we hear Taira's testimony. Taira, resume at once. Okay. I can't trust Yukon as long as I see that. It's not just that. Knowing the mastermind, they might play with you. They might play with us and try to kill us later. Okay. No, Maeda wouldn't do that. False. You don't know people just by looking at them. Mitsuhiro-kun did the same. Remember? Then, what do you want to do? Even if you tell the others? No, that's not the case. Then we can kill him with our hands. What? The reason I called you is actually this. Aren't you close to Yukun? Wouldn't you be able to take him out? You know what you're talking about? Listen, I have a good idea. If you can only help me, otherwise, how can I kill Yukun? Without being noticed by someone. First of all, I brought the preparations, the fuse, lighter, and finally is the knife. Once you pick up Yukun, call him somewhere, I'll stab him with the knife. I'm not talking about that. I asked if you were serious. If you kill, you'll die in a trial. That's when the killer is stupidly caught. Did you forget that the only way to get out from here is to murder someone? So first, help me. If my murder is successful, I'll help you. What do you think? Let's get out together. Are you crazy? Why do I want to murder? What? Don't you want to get out of here? I want to get out, but doing that at the expense of another's life. That's it then. I'm the only one who wants to go outside more than anyone here. I'm not a human being who will rot in this place. Why should I? A bright future awaits me once I get out of this place. Actually, I got everything ready after those 2 days from the previous class trial. I also brought these tools early today. I'm going to kill this traitor. Would it be less guilty to kill a bad guy, right? You better think and join me here. What are you saying? Being prepared for a murder since the second day? That you didn't open up to us. Huh? Oh my god, this stupid bitch. Of course I was acting. Do you think I'm gonna go and fall for that crappy event? I can't. Alright, so you just do what I tell you to do. Know that you were lucky that I chose you. Please bring Yuki-kun here by tomorrow morning. No, I hate it. Why should I help murder? And I can't believe that Marikun is such an evil person. That's obviously Monokuma's lie. Anyway, I'm not going to help you. And Kizuna-chan, please wake up and don't do this. If you are with us, I'm sure we can find a way. Oh, okay. You. What? Well, I didn't expect you to cooperate from the start with the murder because you didn't. I have to change the target as planned. What are you... Oh. Hey, Kizuna-chan. You dodged it. Why are you doing this, Kizuna-chan? Why are you asking? I'm trying to kill you. Kizuna-chan. You already knew I was going to kill, remember? I can't keep you alive. It's a pity you can't kill Yukimura, but it doesn't matter if you can't get out of here. Yeah, someone save me. Brutal. You know what? Even though Kizuna is a murderer, I'm like, man, she's so cool. She's devoted to this. What a psycho bitch. I like it. And for a bloody good reason. If what the note is true and Yuki really does know the mastermind, yeah, she's just doing a service and trying to kill whoever is involved in this killing game. God damn. Is that true? Tomori tried to kill Akane first? Even so, before the motives came out, she just made up her mind to kill someone, and all the appearances she showed us were an act? Yeah, Tomori Kizuna was that kind of person. So, you felt in danger of your own life and attacked Tomori in self-defense. Oh no, that's not right. Listen, I didn't really intend to stab Tomori in self-defense or any of the sort. Then why did you... Tomori ran to kill you. What happened after that? I noticed that Kizuna was serious, and I was too scared. I tried to run for it. Then I was pushed down by Kizuna and fell over. And I tried to resist somehow, and the flashlights we're holding broke each other. Broke each other? What? That was when the two broken flashlights were broken in the switchium. I couldn't see anything because of the flashlight broken, and I was right next to Kizuna-chan with the knife. I was really scared. I tried to resist with my whole body. Honestly, I think it was pure luck that I didn't get hit by the knife. By the way, suddenly Kizuna-chan at one point became really quiet. That's when I took my chance to get out of the switchium. You got out? Okay, you stabbed Tomori Kizuna while resisting without knowing it? When I look at my hands in a bright place, I see a lot of blood. There's a lot of red on my clothes. I got in a panic, didn't look behind me, got out of the power room and ran to the bathroom to wipe the blood. So that's what happened. I was wiping it with water until the smell of blood was washed away, but then the announcement came out. I thought Kizuna-chan was the one whom I stabbed was found, so my vision became white. After that, when I went to the power room, there was a fire for some reason, and the switchium was all messed up. Other than yourself, there was someone else who touched the scene of the crime. Did you think it was you who killed her? That's not it. What happened was... That's how the events are connected. This is all I know about the case. I never meant to stab Kizuna-chan with evil intentions. Whatever the reason, good or bad, once you look at the results, they are Taira Akane stabbed Tomori Kizuna. This is a fact. You cannot change its meaning for whatever reason you might say. But you said I wasn't the culprit. Yeah, you just stabbed her, like I said. There's another killer who caused the fire and the final blow. If the trial settles safely, it'll be the real criminal, not you, who's going to be executed. So, your sins will be laid aside after the trial is over. Don't think you'll just go over it. Now wait a second, it still was an accident, wasn't it? Besides, if Tomori hadn't been stabbed, the Taira would have died. That's right, don't be too forceful with them. Taira herself is more distressed than anyone else. I'm sorry. Hey, second to the fact that it was a crime or forced assault, the trial isn't over yet, right? Now that we know the case, we need to find the true culprit, so let's not get excited just yet, children. Fine, let's talk about this later, because the trial is the most important thing now. Of course it is. Akane, don't blame yourself too much, because in the end you survived. For the most part, I think it's the best outcome that Akane lived. Isn't it important to be alive? Ayame-chan, thank you. Now then, let's organize the case based on Tyra's words. Tomoe tried to plan a killing a few days ago, and she called Tyra to switch him to plan her crime with them and try to kill Tyra in the process. But her plan failed. She died. This is the whole story of the case. Hey, you stay still, there's a bit of mental ferocity in there. Now then, let's do a little summary. First, the number of people involved in this case are 3. One is the victim Kizuna Tomori, the next person is criminal who has not yet been identified, and the last one is the third party, Tyra Akane. Tomori, who wanted to leave her as soon as possible, planned a murder, before even the motives came out. Her rebellion was just an excuse for Tomori, and for the first time she attempted to make Tyra join forces in this crime. If Tomori worked with someone, it would have been easy for her to escape, but Tyra refused, as expected. She tried to get rid of Tyra, the one who heard her plan, and leave no traces behind. However, the attack missed, and in return, there was an accident where the knife ended up stabbing Tomori while tangled up in the dark. Tyra was surprised that she stabbed her, and then she ran to the bathroom. But when she heard the announcement that the body was found, she went back to the power room, and there were things like the fire that she hadn't even done, so Akane was confused at that time. So then in the end, the killer made use of Tyra's talent and put the blame on her in order to make us vote for her? Yeah, there were 3 people involved, so the case was so complicated as it is. By the way, no matter what happened this far, this would mean that she's not the culprit of this case, right? But then, who is the real culprit? The true culprit's identity. Ironami, what is it? Did you figure out something? Nope, it's just amazing that Kurokawa is just very active in participating in the conversation. Lol. Are you serious? I have to say, there are already hints about the real culprit. What? Who is it? Really? Who is it? In general, there is no one who does not have a noticeable alibi other than Tyra. In other words, it is possible for anyone to commit the crime. However, there is only one of us who has led all the situations to their advantage. Yes, and very precisely, may I add. Is there something like that? Who on earth? Oh crap, it's raining hard. I hope it stops soon. Suddenly it's not Tyra? Oh crap, it's really raining hard. There's someone who has taken advantage of the circumstances of the case with so ridiculous timing that could simply be a coincidence at first glance. Think about it. The fire was not caused by Tyra, then obviously the real culprit set the fire. But don't you think there's something amiss? When you leave a fire, the corpse would need to be burned, and you don't know when it could be found. But Hatano actually found it. Yeah, Hatano found it. Well, if that's the case, the wire matters too. If you install a wire trap as bait for a burnt flashlight in the corner, there is a possibility that no one will find it and it could end up just there, right? But it didn't because... Huh? Yep. Isn't it something a little weird? What does the sighting between the fire and the wire have in common? If you think about it, you will see the answer. The person led all situations to their advantage? The person who led the case so that they could solve it on their own accord. The only person in doubt. They are strong enough to instigate most of the incident. The first time they noticed the fire and the wire trap. No, why? I have to stop thinking about that. The main thing is that they did this job. Okay. If we don't find out the truth, then we all will die. Yep. Obviously. If Kinja didn't say the obvious, then yeah, we wouldn't know. There you go. God damn, what a terrible weather. As Kinja says, there's only one person, only someone who could move the situation to their advantage. That person is Hatano. You! What? Now what are you... Man, did you get tired? The culprit was the one who hurt Hatano's leg. But what if Hatano's the culprit? She was aiming for her own leg? Nonsense. It would be more reliable to say that I'm the one crazy. That is quite true. Please don't mess with me, Maida-kun. No matter what, Ayami-chan being the culprit is... That's right, Kinjo, don't stand still and say something. Maida seems to be losing it now. No, that incompetent made a very precise reasoning. Don't you agree? The culprit is Ayami Hatano. She must be. I'm not exactly denying it, but I don't have a clear picture. Can you at least clarify why you believe so? It's because of a few reasons Hatano is suspect. The true culprit of this case is not strange to any of us. The reason is because Tara pulled the ceremony of the incident, and the killer was only a light maneuver in the scene. All of our alibis were also in the dark, and there was contradictions no matter who you put as a killer. However, that's why Hatano's actions were. Hatano's behavior was even more unnatural. What are you talking about? The killer made an alibi trick by building a fire and finishing Tomori herself, in which Tyra couldn't. Until here, everyone understands, right? Then here. Who was the first to discover the fire? What do you think? That was... Hatano? But there's no way to call someone a culprit with just that. You shut up, second-hand killer. It's not just that. And even though the corpse was found, the killer installed the wire trap as if aiming at someone. And who was the person who discovered this first? That was also Hatano too. Let's think. At best, you made an alibi trick. If someone else find it first, there will be too many dangerous variables. But if you set a fire, you can create the best situation you want. Are you referring to the situation where the criminal himself is putting off the fire with other people? That's right, because the original purpose of the killer's fire was to break the glass and heat it to make someone think that a person escaped. If the killer was with other people in that situation, they would have their own alibi. Well, it's a crappy trick, so I didn't even doubt it from the beginning. In addition, Hatano would have had enough time to install the wire. Listening to Tyra's story, Tomori brought all the tools, so you can use them in the arms of the dead Tomori. No, but Ayami-chan. Well, there must be something wrong with that. I mean, it could be a coincidence. Hatano is the culprit just like that? Why is the person who picked up being silent, but the others are noisy? Hey, why are you being quiet? Are you exercising your right to remain silent, or you think this is a joke? It's just that it's so absurd that you've left me speechless. I'm still standing here, and I'm being treated as a criminal. I mean, this isn't funny, Ayami-chan. You can't be the culprit. Oh, anything to object to then? Of course, you don't seem to realize it yet. I'll tell you why I can't be the killer. Why can't you be the culprit? Okay, it looks like you guys are missing one thing in particular. Tomorrow's time of death, do you remember it? Yeah, 9:30 p.m. Time of death, yeah, 9:30 p.m. Was it not specified in the Monokuma file? No, it's specified. Ah, correct, 9:30 p.m. It said that around that time, right? Yep. Yes, it is. Huh? Isn't that weird? What's weird? It's 9:30. Yeah, around 9:30 p.m. I was putting the fire with Kinjo and the others. Actually, accurately, that's true. I thought it said actually. So what happened? Tomorrow might have told someone to meet 9:30 and she was stunned and surprised. Really now? How do you explain this? Wait, let me just drink first. You fucking kidding me? Hatano, is that really so? What? Is this your opinion, Hatano? Because the time of death is 9:30 p.m. The culprit killed Tamori by stabbing Tamori at 9:30 p.m.? Of course, Tamori's death is a stabbed neck. As a reminder, it must have been an instant death at that moment. But that's not the case. Huh? Even if you argue that Hatano's words are true at first glance, after putting some consideration to circumstances, at that time the killer was not already inside the Switchium. Maeda is right, you have no choice but to. This is the problem you solved earlier, right? From the time her fire started to ignite, Tamori must have been stabbed by her knife. Yeah, otherwise the alibi trick of breaking a window remotely would be meaningless. But then, what happened to Tamori's time of death? No matter how much you think about Tamori's death at 9:30 p.m., it makes no sense. Everyone listen carefully. From here on out, the reasoning behind this is a little mixed, meaning perhaps Tamori, before Hatano discovered the fire, may have been already around 9 o'clock with a knife on her neck. What? Super grotesque. That's far-fetched, man. Are you really thinking about it? Are you able to prove that a human being can live for 30 minutes? With a throat pierced? I don't really believe it either. But I'm not saying this for no reason. There is evidence that Tamori survived that long. The first thing I came to think of this was because of Inori. Thanks a lot. Me? That was when Inori was investigating, wasn't it? Remember what you said to me after examining Tamori's body? What should I say? It's a terrible amount of bleeding. Humans die of excessive bleeding, when about 1/3 of the blood volume flows out, but this is not about 1/3 as you can see. It's amazing that even this amount of blood came out. The wound in the neck is definitely fatal, but it should have coagulated to some extent. Yeah, I remember that. And the amount of bleeding should have gradually decreased after the heart stops beating. That means, are you saying something else produced the mass bleeding? No, I cannot confirm this with my own opinion. It is rare, but if your blood pressure is strong, then that amount of bleeding increases. That much I know for sure. To put it simply, there are individual differences. While having a lot of bleeding in here means it took quite a while before death. Thanks to this, Tamori must have died in a very terrible pain. Shit. Think about it. At around 9:30, Tamori just had a stab by a knife on her neck. If she died when we found it, the blood would not have been spread out. Of course, when we discovered it, there was still a little bleeding, but most of this started to harden. It is unnatural to say that such a deep liquid had been flowing after 9:30. That makes sense, but man, did you forget Tamori's wound is not just the neck? Could it have flowed out of the stomach wound? Of course it is possible, but there's another proof that says she's been alive for a long time after being stabbed by the neck. If Tamori died in a blow as soon as her throat was pierced, there was a sign that she'd never be there. Because Tamori knew who the real killer was, who killed them other than Taira. Such a marker was written by them. Another proof that Tamori was alive is persistent will to survive. Force awakening from the fire. Dying message modification. The reason is because of the dying message. Dying message? Didn't that story end earlier, pointing to the maid word? Yeah, but when I came back to it, I could see something I didn't before. There was a big X after the word. Maid. That meaning is correct, as we guessed before, not the maid. Come to think of it, was it written by Tamori? I thought Taira wrote it as a self-act. It was the reason we found in the dying message. I mentioned this before, but after seeing the blood, I just went to the bathroom right away. I couldn't afford to think about that. Yeah, it's not Taira, it's likely the former idea. Tamori wrote the word maid in her own blood to let us know. If that's the case, why is there an X next to it? It wasn't the criminal's own doing, but the reason the victim herself adds an X and writes not the maid. I see. She tried to correct the dying message as she wrote maid, because there was another person who stabbed her neck while she was writing the letters. Yeah. If Tamori died immediately as soon as her throat was cut, there wouldn't be a correction of the dying message, as she would have been left out of strength to muster. But even after being stabbed in the neck, her will still was living, as such as being able to correct the message with all of her strength while holding a knife on her throat. Ugh. How Tamori the cutthroat was alive, that much I don't know. But things I said now prove that Tamori was still alive, under these conditions. Therefore, even if Tamori's time of death was 9:30 p.m., there's no evidence that you can say that you are incapable of committing this crime. It can't be. This is a lie. Ayami-chan? Really? This is just a ridiculous story about being alive with a stabbed neck. Ayami-chan, please say something. It's hard to believe, but humans are creatures that sometimes achieve phenomena beyond. It happens sometimes, even in terror scenes. Nothing strange at all. What? Then, Hatano, are you really the culprit? I don't know why Hatano did this. If my reasoning was wrong, it would be really weird. But there are many situations. The more I think Hatano is the culprit, the more it fits. Hatano, let me hear it from your own voice. The truth. Wait, I cannot tolerate that Hatano is the culprit. It's unacceptable. Inori, I know it's hard to believe. I can't believe it either. So if you look at Hatano's actions, you can only say that it's so suspicious if everything goes in her favor. She's not suspicious. There's a reason it wasn't suspicious. I'll let you know why Hatano is not the culprit. Right. Oh, Inori's gonna fight us. So small though. Do you have any idea Hatano's leg was hurt by the killer? But if Hatano's culprit, are you saying she aimed for her own leg? Ow. With the word aimed at a random person, Hatano was unfortunately caught against will. Progress. I made progress. Do you really think so? Even if you target an unknown person, it's meaningless if it's not found. No matter how you use a flashlight as bait. Finding one in that short time is weird too. That's just by chance, another person. Killer wants to get out of here. There's no point in hurting your own body. Hatano's not the culprit. Is it really a coincidence that Hatano injured her leg? But if Hatano was the culprit, as you know, it says Hatano would aim for her own leg. The reason is I don't really know. But aside from reason, I'm sure the wire trap was only meant for Hatano and no one else. The evidence is the one Inori herself told me, considering the situation where the wire trap hurt Hatano again. Hurt by the killer. Messed up her own leg. Got him. Oh, my back. Break. 50, 40. Jesus. Inori, I'm sorry, but there's another evidence that Hatano is the culprit. Inori's argument is clear. The culprit wouldn't hurt themselves, right? Of course, isn't it? If you are a killer, you are not supposed to aim yourself. What if it was calculated to induce that thought? What? What are you talking about, Maida? Surely you don't mean... If you are a criminal, you can never hurt yourself. What if you're doing a self-play to deliberately draw out that thought? Otherwise, there's no gain for a killer to install the wire. They ended up murdering and finished the process, but after that, when they installed the wire and aimed at someone, it only had suspicion. There's no benefit from it for the killer. Maybe there was a reason to be put there, isn't there? That's right, I'm sure there is. That's why Ayami-chan is not the culprit, and... that's not the only thing. If they killed for some reason, they installed wires to target someone. Even so, how exactly do you intend to cut the leg tendon? Our stride length and calf size are all different. That's... Hey, cutting the tendon may not have been the purpose. Ayami-chan suffered a fatal injury because of bad luck. If that's the case, I wouldn't install the wire. You don't need to use wires while holding at risk your future. Then, I was aiming at Ayami-chan from the start, so I installed the wire exactly in the position of Ayami-chan's tendon. How do you know that? It is difficult to know the position of a tendon without prior knowledge, but you install it while calculating the trap to trip over? Ugh. The only one of us who has the knowledge is a surgeon, Inori. Her own legs, at the same time, who knows more about muscles of athletes than Hatano herself? That she can't be. Inori, Hatano was never caught in a trap because of bad luck. Because she was caught in a trap she installed, she was able to produce such a perfect tendon-cutting accident. Whew, that was pretty good. It's really her? Why did Hatano? Well, I'm the one who saw Hatano's wound. I can't believe that she made a wound so full of evil intention. Ayami-chan can't be the culprit. I'd rather be the culprit, even if I'm executed, only for Ayami-chan. I can't believe it either. I wish it was all a lie. I wish it was all dreams. I wish my reasoning had been turned into a mess and wake up from this nightmare. Is this how everything ends up? You can see it like that. Overall, I have the same opinion as Meta, but I want to hear at least the confession from her mouth. Because I have to make sure. Well, it's too late to argue at this point. Ayami Hatano, can I take your vote of silence as your affirmation of your crime and end this already? We're all so sleepy. Wait, not Ayami-chan, it can't be her. Who else could it be? After all, it was me who stabbed Tamori. I'm the one who gets executed. I'd rather do that. Ayami-chan is innocent. Akane doesn't have to be executed. Ayami-chan. And, of course, not me either. Ayami-chan. Going to try our last act, huh? It's not that. I just want to survive with Akane and leave this place. That's it. Your crime is already logical and there's nothing wrong. Do you think force will work? I'm not convinced. If I'm the culprit, you haven't proved it without a doubt yet. Isn't a trial supposed to be won after you convince the criminal to admit their defeat? You fool. What are you going to do? Does anyone know any evidence to satisfy this killer who talks like that? It doesn't matter if I tell you, but wouldn't it be less fun? What a slacker. It's a trial, and you have to take it seriously, I tell you. It's all over anyway. I have to play around while watching this futile struggle. But there's no mystery to solve anymore. What are you planning to do now? Even if you say that Ayami-chan's words assume what if Ayami-chan is not saying they're the culprit. Nevertheless, it's hard. Okay, then let's reorganize the case from the beginning. Then we may not notice if something was missed. Let's go ahead. Go? Where are we going? Stay still, you crazy big guy. One more definitive proof to convince Hatano. I think there is something left. If Hatano is convinced by saying this, if she convinces, how should I react? Hatano is the culprit. Should I just accept that? Yep. Even so, I have no choice but to do it, as long as I've come to this point, and then show them the proof of her crime. Sure. Yeah. When speech bubbles, remark. Okay, Z is crosshair. If it's not destroyed, yada yada. Reload, use shift key. Okay. Why can't I not just use the X key? It's much more convenient to use any other key besides the shift key. Why do Danganronpa fan games do that? The left side thigh tendon
これが
cut.
真実だ。
That is pretty accurate if you ask me. Very precise to get an injury like that. Oh, finally, fair scoring. God damn this game. First, I want to ask Inori just to be sure. To me? It's raining, so I hope you all ignored the rating sounds. Of course, where did Atana say she was injured? Her thigh. More precisely, left side wide leg laceration caused by hamstring injury, although... Hey Maeda, why are you asking this for all of a sudden while dealing with me? Are you giving up after all? Inori, that hamstring refers to a muscle that is important in keeping the leg straight, right? Where exactly is the location of that muscle? Right, it's one of the 3 places that connects the hip with the leg. To put it simply, it is a muscle that is widely distributed. In the back of the leg, that's it. But what is this explanation for? Hey, don't talk about anything that doesn't matter, Maeda. Since Ayama-chan is innocent, there's no room for refutation anymore. No, this is important. Very important, in fact. Inori's words just had a decisive clue that Hatano is the culprit. Eh? Everyone heard what Inori said, right? Hatano's injury is on the back muscle of the left thigh. Yeah, the back. But why did Hatano go forward to pick up a flashlight and the back of the thigh end up hurt? What? Oh, it's true. I only cared that Hatano was hurt. I didn't think it was suspicious, but it's weird when you think about it. She stumbled forward, but she got hurt on the back of her leg? That's... Even if I fall back, my nose breaks, but I guess this doesn't matter now. Can't think of any other reason but one. Hatano, from the very beginning, on her own volition, she was caught deliberately in the trap to inflict a wound as fatal as possible. My god, then it means that it was entirely self-inflicted? Really? I don't know why you did that, but it may have been to pretend to be a victim and to be less suspicious. It's my guess. That can't... No, there's gotta be a mistake. Hatano? I wish I was lying. Why this is a choice if you want to get out of the game? Then just lie. Why don't we make a conclusion now? I wasted enough time and I'm getting tired of various factors, such as the vitality of a cockroach of Taira Akane Tomori Kizuna, although I believe it's all over now. No! Something is wrong. Ayama-chan wouldn't do this. I mean that. Ayama-chan was never the type to kill. The person who's driven as a criminal is still there. Why are you upset? You just stay put. Taira, it's really hard to accept, but we have to accept the conclusions we've drawn. Otherwise, nothing will end. And nothing will begin. Now then, finally, let's do a final summary of all the events thus far, so that everyone can accept the answers we have presented. So everyone can choose. Sure. Some folly story, whole story, small cartoon, yeah. What are the controls? Blank frame or mix at the bottom, and after using this decision key, you can fill the picture by clicking an empty spot. Okay, pressing cancel, okay. Okay, no penalty. Oh, thank goodness. No time limit. Oh, thank God. What a life save. The Lord is merciful. So let's see. Taro came to sushi at someone's request. So she got stabbed, almost got stabbed, broke flashlight. Something happened. While she was running away, there was blood and stuff. Tara was in a state of panic. Yeah. Did someone saw her? Who's that? Oh, the culprit, the true culprit. So this Attica 3. Okay. Culprit saw Kizuna bleeding to death. Wrote in the maid did it, but then she was like, no. I'm gonna use this knife and stab you back. Okay, here. Kia. She was still alive. And then Kia. There you
これ
go.
が事件の全部だよ。
The start of this case begins after the first trial ends and the second floor opens. It was a late night on the second day after she got out. At this point, there was someone who stopped by the antique shop for a purpose. She got some tools from the antique shop. The tools they brought this time were the fuse, ladder, flashlight. Surprisingly, this person's identity was Tamori, who was also the victim of this incident. Now we know, but Tamori has been planning the murder this time, yeah, even before we shared our motives. All of the tools she picked up earlier were tools that Tamori had procured in advance for use in a murder. As a result, she died, and the real culprit of this case was the one who used the tools that she had prepared, however. On the morning of the third day, Otori, who stopped by the antique store shop every time, must have noticed that some items have already been missing. Sadly, he didn't tell us because he thought it was a simple mistake and would have created confusion. So without anyone knowing, Tamori's murder plan proceeded slowly, and then Monokuma gave us the motive. As everyone knows, this motive was a note with our secrets, but it was a joke that nobody cared about. But only Tamori was different. Tamori thought she could use this motivational note, so she decided to add a step to her original plan. That's right, me. It was an operation to use the secret note of Yukimura to capture Taira and join forces. Tamori told Taira to come to the switch room alone, and Taira headed to that place without any doubt. Taira's may seem a little petty, but in fact she wasn't actually swayed. Tamori expected this to happen, and after the second day onwards, by acting weak she wanted to weaken our boundaries. The appearance of being lonely, the appearance of hesitation, the appearance of accepting us with tears. It was only a fake scene to kill even a little more smoothly. That's the true nature of Tamori Kizuna. Badass. We were all fooled by Tamori. Taira, at the time, she wasn't wary of Tamori at all, so she went to the dark switch room. There, Tamori showed Taira a secret note and revealed the plan to kill me. Taira said that Tamori picked up a secret note that someone discarded from the trash can. It was written like this: Yukimura may actually know the identity of the mastermind. Of course, this is not true, because I don't know who the mastermind is. But in order to kill me with that pretext, she needed Taira's help. Tamori tried to get Taira out like that. But Taira didn't follow Tamori's words. No matter what, murder shouldn't be done by anyone. When things didn't work out as intended, Tamori gradually began to reveal her nature. Once Taira refused, she couldn't let Taira leave. The one who had heard the murder plan. So instead, Tamori changed the target. The one who she expected to refuse her, but decided to be killed in front of her. Tamori ran into Taira without warning, but luckily, Taira avoided the first strike. Taira panicked by Tamori's sudden attack. Taira tried to run away, but she was pushed by Tamori and fell. Then she tried to resist Tamori, swinging a knife right in front of her nose. In the process, the flashlights that Taira and Tamori had were broken by a struggle, and the switch room, which lost its only light. They were struggling in the deep darkness. Several minutes continued during this fierce encounter, but at some point the struggle suddenly ended. I don't know why Tamori became quiet, but Taira, who was in danger of her life, decided to leave the switch room because she wanted to out of this situation. She wanted to get out of the situation. There you go. The first thing that Taira found out when she got out of the dark switch room in the bright spot was the intense color of blood. Taira only saw the blood on her body. Of course, it wasn't her own blood, and instinctively realized that she had stabbed Tamori in the middle of the struggle without even knowing herself. Oh, don't suck on the blood, ugh. Tara was shocked in fear and horror in her head, went to the bathroom. She thought about washing the blood quickly from her. But looking at Tyra like this, the culprit perhaps found out what she had done. It is not clear whether or not they saw Tyra in person, but the killer must have found Tamori within that short time after Tyra left the power room. If someone other than the culprit in this case discovered Tamori, they might have saved Tamori by calling Inori, but the culprit in this case didn't have that thought in mind at all. Attica 3. In any case, the culprit who noticed the situation in the switch room must have found Tamori in a dying state caused by Tyra. Tamori tried to target Tyra, but she was forced to act, as she did not die immediately. The reason for this can be found in the dying message she wrote. Tamori, realizing that she was going to die, wrote on the floor with her own blood to let us know the identity of the killer, who stabbed her, not maid, in other words, to refer to the ultimate maid student, Tyra. The thought that passed by the killer's mind so far was not thinking of telling everyone to save Tamori. The thought of killing Tamori was that she couldn't breathe, just so they would blame the wrong person. For them, the killer committed a terrible act that was hard to think of as a human being. In order to give a certain final blow, they first pulled out a knife stuck into Tamori's stomach. It was already cruel enough to do this, however. They aimed the knife again at Tamori. Shit, brutal. Just to put it back on her neck. In the process, blood spurted like a fountain, but the killer was wearing a piece of cloth about the size that could cover them, preventing the blood from splattering them. Well, that's convenient that Ayami was already had the cloth or whatever. In contrast to Tyra, who stabbed Tamori in an accident and unintentionally, you could see that it was extremely premeditated crime. That's how Tamori lost her strength to live. Tamori thought about killing, of course, and even tried to kill Tyra. Still, did she have to die so badly? Either way, the culprit who succeeded in killing Tamori through a fatal wound now was starting a backup operation. First, the killer installed the fuse, drawing a line around the walls of the switchium. I don't know where Tamori originally intended to use it, but they used the tools Tamori had. In the end, since Tamori prepared the tools, the killer themselves couldn't be suspected of this act. In actuality, we had a pretty hard time figuring out who brought the tools because of this. The fuse was installed mainly on the glass window, as to not burn equipment as much as possible, and then lit it with a lighter. The lighter, who was originally brought by Tamori, and the reason the glass was able to break automatically was because where the temperature inside the switchium becomes hot after a certain period of time, using the temperature difference between indoors and outdoors. While the criminal themselves was with the others, if they heard the cracking sound, as long as they made them think, someone inside the switchium broke the glass, the killer had the perfect alibi. This was the unusual structure of the switchium, and the glass window was cleared. God, my throat hurts. It was possible because of the characteristics of the room, but this trick wasn't that meticulous. No one noticed a fire where the fire was being made. It was a futile trick. So the killer put the plan into action than anyone else. They were really smart into thinking this really quickly, on the spot. After completing the installation of the fuse, the criminal reported the fact of the fire with a loud voice as if they were the fire discoverer. Some of the people who heard the sound came to the front of the switch-up as the culprit intended. Those who heard the killer's voice at the time were Kinjo, Mikaro, and Uehara, those three people. At this point, three people who had not yet known that a murder had occurred decided to extinguish the fire first without even dreaming that they were with the killer. 3. Now even the killer came with a fire extinguisher from the hallway and started to extinguish the flames. But then to us, to the killer, to anyone, something unimaginable happened. Tomori, who must have had her throat pierced with a kitchen knife, was still alive. It's strange enough to say that it's a contradiction when you think about it in general, but Tomori, the victim, was holding on to the thread-like lifeline. And Tomori used all of her last strength. She corrected the dying message that rope made, with a large X next to it. In other words, it was telling us this, not the maid. I would like the killer's name instead, but just as next with the throat stabbed, it was already an incredible feat to do. After correcting the dying message, Tomori's life was gone, bleeding because her heart was beating until then the amount of blood increased more than that of an ordinary person, and thanks to that, we could prove Tomori was still alive. Of course, that would have been fatal for the killer, yeah. Originally, only looking at the words maid put Tyra in doubt. She could have done it, but because the X was left remaining for no reason, the elaborate plan was doomed to fail. Tomori, even though she tried to kill and she couldn't be forgiven, she acted. At the end of the day, she was trying to tell us the correct answer with all of her strength. And the situation goes back to the power room, where the fire was put off and the setup was almost completely staged. Suddenly hearing the sound of glass breaking inside the switch room. This was done in the best conditions intended by the killer. Thanks to this, everyone thought someone inside the switch room broke the glass. Everything was the way the killer wanted. The killer was on the scene at that time. I would imagine they had a smile of satisfaction. The three of them except Uehara, who went to watch the entrance to check the sound, went inside the switch room. In there saw Tomori's body. At that point, the body discovery announcement rang. The others who heard the body discovery announcement arrived one by one. Everyone gathered in the power room. Perhaps Tyra, who was in the position of the third party at this time, was most surprised because Tyra didn't know the existence of the criminal. She thought she was the culprit, and yet a fire incident happened that Tyra herself did not know. So when we received the Monokuma file and started investigating, the killer started the last act. First, the killer puts the third flashlight they used on the floor. The flashlight was also in the state of charcoal because it was caught in the fire. The reason why is because they threw something. Something that catches our eyes on the floor in order to create a certain situation. The killer installed a sharp wire on the way of the flashlight. How did he do that? And she talked as if she had found a flashlight and voluntarily walked to pick it up. Yes, even though she knows they have a sharp wire installed. Here, the killer deliberately gets caught in a wire trap and cut their own leg. It was also precisely aimed at cutting the back tendon. I didn't even think at the time that the killer was going to cripple their own leg, although it was the culprit's intention to make us think so. One mistake of the killer here is that the rear tendon was cut despite walking forward. But I didn't even think about it because a person who saw an injured one at the time wouldn't think that. It must have been the culprit's idea whose purpose was to get out of here. The culprit even gave up one leg of themselves and showed a look of being a victim in all of this. Thanks to it, we almost got hooked into thinking, would you cut your own leg? While staring at us, the killer would have been laughing inside. In this case, there were three people including the killer, Tomori and Tyra. But also, most of the suspicions went to Tyra, so the identity of the killer was ambiguous. However, as a result of matching Tyra's honest statements in various situations, we were unable to uncover the identity of the killer. The criminal who tried to hide their identity by throwing away their leg. The perpetrator who committed such a terrible thing to Tomori. The identity of the culprit was smiling with a smile of deceit, watching our actions behind the scenes. It's no one else other than you, Hatano Ayame. Awesome case. How about it, Hatano? If you have anything to object to, please do. Is there a save point? No, wait a minute, this is something wrong. It's not like this. Really? What's not it? It's all decided. Shouldn't we see the end now? No, it's not over. It can't be over. But even if everything is correct and there's evidence, I can't convince myself. Atano is the killer who murdered Tomori that way. Damn it, Atano. Damn it all. It's all over then. No, Ayame-chan, please tell me they're wrong. No. Alright. No comment? Yeah. Cool. 5,000 monocoins. Unfair. Wait, at least let me save. It's like almost 3 hours now. Oh, are you done? Oh, what the hell? You guys took so long that I was asleep at the middle of it. Nope, I never slept, Mr. Monokuma. Did you sleep? Oh, no doubt. Okay, well, anyways, you guys seem to have come to your own conclusions, so it's okay to go into voting time soon. Now then, you guys, vote with the switch in front of your hands. As I said last time, we do not accept invalid ones, so press carefully. As a result of the voting, who will become the blackhead, and the answer will be the correct answer or the wrong one. Now what will happen? Still no save point? God. That's amazing, you're correct. Tomarikizuna was terribly killed. Like that by the ruthless Blackened. Which was Ayame Atano. That's the answer. The answer? Did we do it? Did we get the culprit? Why is it the correct answer? I'm not happy to guess this. Damn it. Oh, by the way, the vote wasn't unanimous. Miss Tyre, no matter how much you want it, voting on yourself, you don't want a suicide, okay? Who would believe what you're saying? I can't admit. I won't admit. It's a big deal, so be careful next time. Anyway, whatever you say, there's only one truth, but I said it right. I don't lie when it comes to class trials. Is this real? Is Atano really the killer? Of course she is, I guarantee this. You guys had the answer you came up with at the end, right? Denying this is nothing more than escape from reality. It's a lie, right? Ayame-chan? Only the judge was talking. Everyone couldn't even breathe, because the result of the trial was so terrible. Miss Tyre played the role of accomplice, so the case was extremely extreme, but it was also because the incident happened late at night. Why? I ask why? Why did such a girl like you kill her? You watch your mouth, Kabishikawa-kun. This can't be true. How is Ayame-chan a killer? You want to believe that, but... Stop it, Akane. Eh? Any more than this, and it's only make it worse. I can't hide it anymore. What are you talking about, Ayame-chan? You can't hide it? Oh, if you say it like that, it makes you look like a culprit, you know? I'm sorry. You're sorry? Why are you apologizing? Why? Tomori was killed. By me. What? Yeah, well, you don't have to make another announcement. Because Monokuma already confirmed it. Why did you... Did she have to kill even going as far as breaking your own leg? That's right, if the answer we came up with is correct, doesn't that mean all we said, all our reasoning was correct? We were asking to end the trial early soon so that we could heal your leg as soon as possible. If you're the killer, it doesn't make sense. I don't believe it. I won't believe it. I can't believe this. Yeah, in the end, you were also a murderer. It's surprising, but the word unexpected doesn't apply to criminals. Because even outside of these walls, there are piles of criminals who are doing heinous things with dismal faces. Why did you do it? Please answer us, why did you do that? That's obvious, it's because I want to get out of here. Huh? Isn't that obvious? Other than that, there's no other reason to commit a murder. To get out of here and seek my freedom, I wanted to return to my usual daily living. That's why everyone has no choice but to sympathize. It was just a choice of murder as means. OMG! What you just said. You finally got my plan. I thought it was perfect because I could use Taira Akane. No, Hatano! What, in the end? In the end, you were just the same person as Higa? This is what nature is, after all. Nobody can judge just by looks. Now, I must know. The evil face who committed this murder. Oh, you caught me. Haha. Haha. This is Satana's true nature? She just wanted to get out of here, and for that reason she killed Tomori? Really? That's all? Something just doesn't feel right. As Kid just said, I shouldn't judge by appearance. This might be what Hatano really looks like. But what is this deep pain in my head? I can't see it with my eyes open anymore, that's why I'm gonna close it. Let's just end it. End it? You mean the execution? You were that kind of person, Hatano? For what the hell did we do this, damn it? Oh, who did we trust for? Monokuma, get it started. Now wait a second, can we finish things like this? Can we really send Hatano like this? Yep. But man, look at her. You may be right, but whatever you say to her won't work. Execution, unfortunate for me. It was a waste. Hatano, is that really you? Are you saying you were pretending to be a human being? Yeah, this is the real me. I thought you guys were stupid couldn't figure out my tricks, but I guess you weren't so bad after all. What did you say? Hey, please stop, Hatano. If I look at Hatano's appearance any more than this, I'll go crazy. Hatano, you really don't have regrets? Are you satisfied with your actions? Of course, it's my execution, come on. If you say regret, I couldn't get out of here. That's all I regret. Lies. What? You wanting to get out of here. It's a lie. What, you think you know me, don't you? It's not a lie. I did murder because I wanted to get out of here, that's all. If you wanted to leave this place, you wouldn't have cut your own leg. What do you mean? Hatano did murder. That's correct, but there must have been another reason. You like acting as a villain, but your body's trembling, Hatano. Curses. Then the Hatano we just saw, she was just acting? You mean she's acting crazy on purpose? So then why did she really kill? Kurokawa, I can't. Hatano. After saying that, Hatano's appearance returned to normal. At that moment, I felt the pain disappearing from my mind and the sense of incongruity just before I was gone. My hands are already dirty, and it might sound like an excuse, but please let me tell you. This is how I committed my murder. I was running down the second floor corridor at the time of the incident, as you guessed. At that time, I saw Akane running somewhere. She was going in such a hurry, I tried to talk, but then I realized that Akane's body was covered in blood. I went to the power room where Akane had come out with no doubt. I found out that something had happened inside the switchium. I took a flashlight in a hurry to check the condition inside, and Tomori was dying. And there was a knife stuck in her stomach, as you all said. And why did you kill her there? You could have thought of a way to call the others and let Tomori live. Because that was not the case. It was not the case? According to the facts I've seen, when I discovered her, Tomori was almost dead. I knew she wasn't dead because she was breathing hard, but that was it. She was already in the brink of death. That was until she got killed by you. I was worried, anxious, and scared. If Tomori dies, Akane becomes the killer. It was a scary thought. I wanted to throw that thought away. What? At that time, I really want to think about it. That kind and good-natured Akane, why would she stab Tamori? I learned that it was an accident though before the trial, but at the time she had no idea. In my head, I just went like this because I only thought about Akane becoming the blackhead of this case. I couldn't leave her alone. I couldn't leave my friend alone while knowing everything, throwing everything away for the sake of survival. Wait a minute, then the reason Atano committed murder was Ayami-chan. Because of me to release me from becoming the Black End? I just couldn't stay put and watch Akane being executed for pretending I didn't see it. I also wanted to call Inori to heal Tamori. But if Tamori's breathing goes out while I go get Inori, then Akane would have been executed without fail due to my mistaken judgment. I couldn't allow that to happen. Wow. That from the very beginning, you were thinking of dying instead of Tyra. And that including the cut on her tendon. All of that was to protect Tyra? Wow. Your fault. This is the truth. I just couldn't say I didn't know about my friend's crime. A sad tragedy born from friendship. For a while, no one could speak. Inside the courtroom, only Tyra's wailing was the only voice ringing in our ears. Was that really the only reason? Yeah? It is a commendable act to lay down one's life for others. It's not possible without some courage. In that aspect, you deserve to be recognized. But if those were the only intentions to do that, it would not have been necessary to go to a trial like this, right? Even if you reveal the facts to everyone and accept the execution, your intentions do not change. But at the time of the trial, your appearance became as if you looked desperate. Hey Mikari, if you say anything more to Atano, I won't let it stand. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Even if you're a woman. I'm not scared of you, idiot, and shut up. I'm talking with Ayami Hatano right now. No, it's okay, calm down, Kabashikawa. Sure, Mikaro, there was something else. What else was there? I didn't tell you this as it would sound like an excuse as I said the first time. As Mikaro pointed out, doing this for Akane may have just been a pretext. I'll tell you everything. It can't be said there was no darkness in my heart. Somewhere in my mind it was like, it's okay because it's for Akane, but there was also the desire to get out from this place. It must have existed in my mind at some point. It did, but even with your leg like this was the meaning of apology to you guys if I succeeded in escaping. And even if my leg is paralyzed, everything is already too late. What are you saying? Motive. The first motive that we got when Maggie was murdered. The outside world I saw there was a terrible world that couldn't even run properly. Huh? How is that possible? So in the end, the initial motive was the driving force too. Other than me, my coworkers and rivals, they can't even walk anymore. But if that's the case, what's the use of getting out of here with my legs fine? But how did that happen? Hatana, what happened? I thought that video was just a manipulation. And I thought Hatana would be the first to run non-stop and never be fooled. I know, but I wanted to check if it was real. Until I saw it with my own eyes, I was nervous. And every day it drove me crazy. This wasn't recent. From the time Maki and I've been running around in my head. I had nightmares every night. I was always confused when I was with her. All that can be said of me is the fact that something was gone blank. I wanted to see it. With my own eyes. No one objected to Hatano. The feeling Hatano felt was exactly the same as me. Because I still remember my family. And when I was alone, I couldn't stay still because of anxiety. After all, every breath was about the motive again and again. We were vigilant about that new motive, called the secret note, but the motive that I was given the first time, no matter how many new motives came out, it did not disappear. The intense image was clearly stuck in our minds. I understand the feeling, but you were weird. I don't feel a strong will like Mitsuhiro Higa. The desire to go outside. Was it a conflict? Conflict? Will you lose us for the chance to leave outside? Would you accept death? For your dear friend Tyra. You were in conflict, weren't you, Asano? It wasn't as big as that, but by the time I had appointed me as the culprit, I had already given up on escaping, after everything was revealed. But the reason I got ugly and struggled until the end, it was because of Akane. I was relieved to learn that it was only an accident that Akane stabbed Tomori during the trial, because I knew Akane was the way I knew her. Even though after I was driven as the culprit, Akane tried to deny my crime more severely than me, the culprit, to prevent me from being executed. I am the one that betrayed you all, and I committed murder. I'm a little happy inside. Like, I wanted Akane not to die. She has the same mind too. More than that, how disappointed Akane would be if I admitted the crime. Not to mention my other kid couldn't be beaten, haha. Why are you smiling? Huh? Oh, you're angry, Akane. I knew you would be disappointed, but I'm sorry. Why? You did because of someone like me. How can you laugh like that? How can I laugh? Akane asked something very strange. Thanks to me, Akane is able to survive safely. Is there anything more simple than this? Hatano. Ah, damn it. In the end, I'm just an idiot who, after weighing in between dreams and bonds, I've done things that shouldn't be done. Still, I'm satisfied. I could have saved at least Akane. I feel somewhat relieved. Although my dream ends here, you guys don't make the same mistake like me. Go after the best dreams you believe in. I chose to protect my friend rather than my dream. Now I'll say goodbye to this world. But at least I have no regrets. Don't say goodbye or end it like that. If you make it sound so ominous. That really happens. It happens if you don't say that. Monokuma. Well, I understand Hatano's situation, but it's taking too long. Look, if this is a game, you have to think about the person who plays it. Yeah, thanks. Shut up, Monokuma. I don't know what Hatano thought and what circumstances caused the murder. The important thing is the result. In the end, the fact that you killed Miss Tomori doesn't change one bit. Murder means the order has been broken. For a Blacken who has broken it, an appropriate punishment is necessary. Yeah, I am to be punished. You take the sin and pay the penalty for it. Oh, confident attitude. I don't like that. It's different from Higakun. But for Miss Hatano and Miss Tyra, it's whatever. In the end, the cause was that you wanted to go out, right? Hey. Why, Hatano's a little while ago, so say it with her own mouth. She was conflicted because she wanted to go out. Shut up. You were the one who created this whole situation itself. What are you saying? What am I saying? Are you that stupid, poo-poo-poo? If you forget the outside world, this wouldn't happen. You just need to live comfortably here. So if you want to get out, you have to go through a murder case. You should know this already. Stop spouting your nonsense. Go ahead, disgusting bear. Fine, I won't meddle with you guys anymore. It's also because midnight already passed, so let's start. The heart-racing punishment time. I have prepared a very special punishment for Ayami Hatano, the ultimate sprinter, who is the blanket of this case. Everyone, remember to get along. No, wait a minute, Ayami-chan, please wait. No, there's so many things I haven't told you, Ayami-chan. Let's go all out. Ayami-chan, because of me, because of a fool like me, I stabbed someone by accident. I didn't try to clean up. Also, just bothered you. I made the scene. Don't go, I'm going to die. All I need to do is die. Monokuma, wait. It's punishment time. Akane, I want you to be alive. Live. Wait. Brutal. Yahoo! This is thrill. This thrilling feeling of endorphins rising. It's fantastic profit. Ayami-chan. Ayami-chan. No! It's too much flesh, blood. Hatano. No, I don't think I can hold it anymore, sniff. Hatano was executed. So much cruelty, so mercilessly. I found myself closing my mouth to endure the vomit that had reached my throat. For our colleagues and for our best friend, Hatano willingly gave up her life. How many people can do that in the world? That was the kind of person she was. Goodbye, Hatano. Evil, ugly, it's not a dream. How long do we have to continue this nightmare? It's up to you guys. It's nightmare if you guys forget only the outside world and live in harmony here. You're happy and you don't know what to do? You mentioned this in the first trial as well. Forget the outside world. You keep emphasizing the words. What is the purpose? What's the reason you want? From keeping us inside? If I tell you that, it's a major spoiler. It might transform into a wave of protest. Shut up, you bastard. Why do you do this to us? Why? Tell us the reason. Wouldn't be desperate to kill each other without knowing that? Then let's ask something different. The cause of entering an execution of this goal is nothing but ordinary. Absolutely impossible. What the hell are you? Where does this organization come from? There are a lot of things you are curious about, huh? Good, then would you like a special service? Everything that you see in this goal, from the beginning, it was all here. I just modified it a tiny bit. Tried so hard to make you guys feel amazing despair, yet you guys just ignored my warnings. Truly sad. You're so noisy. What is despair? Is it so fun to play with a person's life? Huh? Do you think I'm just doing this simply to enjoy it? Well, it's true at some point, although I'm actually enjoying it. You guys don't know how important is all of this poo-poo-poo. No clue at all. It's still raining. Holy shit, it's not stopping. Well, then again, it is December, so yeah. What are you talking about? Nothing you need to know. If you're curious, do your own research and find out. After all, it's written in the school rules, investigation is always free to do. Well, this is it. After enjoying a brilliant execution, I woke up because I'm feeling so worked up. But if I don't sleep, it's dangerous because I might sleep all day tomorrow. Of course, everyone did a good job. It seems to be a good despair finale, so at this point, the class trial is over. Good night. After Monokuma disappeared, only Tyra's sobbing sound came from the trial grounds. I felt like I would go crazy too. It's an indescribable evil feeling, a feeling of despair beyond reason. It seems like my body was being crushed by a tremendous pressure. But I cannot give up here. I have to move forward for the sake of our dead friends. Even though I thought in my head, my body wouldn't move nor follow. Can we really get out of here? The second trial is over. 4 people have lost their lives. Who will be next? Is it me? Ayami-chan. Tyra, calm down. Everyone is sad. It's all because of me Kijusa-chan died. Because of me, Ayami-chan also died. Because of me. That's right, isn't it? All because of me. All because of... It's all because of me. Reprimanding yourself. I all too well that I know all too well that it wasn't because of Tara, but I just couldn't tell her anything. It's hard. It's too hard to put yourself up, but taking care of others would be a real sainthood. All we could do for Tara is to let her cry freely without interruption. To be able to complain such difficult feelings with tears. It could have been me instead. It's ugly and noisy. What? Yeah, it's all because of you. I know you well enough. If you feel guilty like that, write a will and commit suicide already. Oh boy. Hey, what did you say, Kinjo? Say it again. It's better to get behind a bitch blackened like you. Blackened? Kinjo, are you crazy? Why are you suddenly saying all of this stuff? I hate this the most. In my true sense, a blackened is subtly convicted of innocence to avoid the law. Blackened? You mean Tyra? Is there anyone else who fits? Stop, this is bullshit. How many times has it been revealed that the stabbing Tyra did to Tamari was an accident? Is that really what you say to someone who just lost a friend after their death? An accident? Of course it was. Kizuna Tamari started it all, however. Who made the final blows no matter the pretext must be punished. The two were punished and killed, right? Tara Akane, who was at the heart of the case, more than them, is alive and clean from this. Have you forgotten? Even if this woman had killed Tamari in an accident in the class trial, Akane Tara made a false statement to hide her crimes. What would have happened if we were caught in that lie? Isn't it terrible to imagine? Directly or indirectly, Tara Akane almost put us all at risk. But she couldn't help it, could she? Tara knew she was guilty and she knew. She would be executed if she told the truth. Then she shouldn't have done that in the first place. No matter how much of an accident it was, you think it makes sense to go and watch the blood to destroy evidence as you stab Tamori, a girl who is willing to say that they're innocent? Is it normal to at least support Tamori and give her first aid or call Inori as soon as possible? They do have a point. Please think of Tyra. The accident may have happened and the rescue might not have occurred because she was in a state of panic. No, I'm confident of this. If Tyra Akane was really the blackhead, it's certain for a fact that she would try to trick us with selfish thoughts. Stop talking, Kinjo, you bastard. I'm not gonna tolerate this anymore. Wait, calm down, Kobaxer. Go get your fist down, manly boy. You guys need to look at things objectively. What she did is wrong in every sense. There's still a lot to talk about, but I don't think it's the right time when everyone is on edge and confused as it is now. It's late today, so go to bed. I'll talk with you all tomorrow morning. Hey, wait, dude. If you want to talk to me, then stop. Hey, you bastard. Are you gonna leave us just like that? Hey. Why is Kinjo doing this? It's like Kinjo is creating a separation between us. So what do we do now? Is Tara going to recover? Losing a loved one is a very difficult feeling. Ah, that's right. Tara, are you okay? Oh shit. Can I even do her FTEs? I'm sorry. Chara is all good now, is she? Let's all rest for today. I don't feel good after a class trial. It's already late. Near dawn. Go sleep. Let's do as Kurokawa suggests. Honestly, I can't afford to think right now. We'll listen to Kinjo tomorrow. Today we are going to sleep. In our separate dormitories, not this place. Okay, I feel like the more we do this, the more harder we have to work. Everyone have a good night. Sleep well. Being in such a situation is unusual in itself, but the current situation was much more than the first trial. Oh god, it's raining harder. Oh my god, have mercy. Kinjo should lead. Everyone seems to be getting twisted more and more, and our friends start to lose their lives one by one. What can I do at times like these? Play around with everyone and relax while learning about them? Follow my own dreams? Right now, I think it's impossible for anything to happen. I have no more power to think anymore. Let's sleep for today. I returned to my room. When I left the courtroom and returned to my dormitory, I greeted some of my friends and tried to chat a little, but everyone seemed to have no energy. Well, no fucking duh. That's no wonder. It only passed 3 or 4 hours before returning to my room, but within those 3 or 4 hours, we lost very precious things. It feels like it's been years, and then the stiff dorm bed that couldn't be comfortable is now feeling better than anything else. Let me save. Tired. Sigh. Let me save, goddammit. A desperate situation in which we taste the despair of the death of our friends and do not know whether we will be able to stand up. To stand up again. What kind of despair awaits us from tomorrow? Now I don't even think there's hope anywhere. Now I only have passed the second-class trial, but this is not the end. The despair surrounding us was approaching, involving us deeper and deeper. Enveloping. What did it pronounce again? God damn it. Hey, hello. I don't know if you're comfortable. Don't you feel uncomfortable? Oh, it'd be weird if you were tied up in a public like this, but if you're comfortable... No way, if it's comfortable, you're a true maso? But you aren't, right? Oh well, I came to bring the meal again today. Your appearance is still there, so... Take good care of your health until then. But by the way, who could have thought you would be led like this? I'm really sorry for being like this and having to lock you up. In fact, it would have been nice if I let everyone stay with you too. Your body is one that cannot age, isn't it? Still haughty, huh? I like it. It'll be alright when your turn comes. By that time, how many people will survive? Huh? What? I getcha. It's because that woman you love is still alive. There's nothing to worry about. I'll go there then, because if I'm not watching, I don't know what those guys will try to pull, so... See you next time. Chapter 2 Wet, the natural balance between dreams and bonds. Yeah. Survivors left. Bang. Okay. You want to save? Yes, thank the Lord. So I'm gonna end it here. Oh boy, that was a long ass fucking trial. Great though. Terrible stuff. To attempted murder, self-defense, etc., etc. Great trial. Love it. So this is Danganronpa Chapter 2, another translation made by Zephram. Follow them. Their links are in the description if you want more Danganronpa fan game translations, etc., etc. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.